Kangaroos in the opening stages of this game here at Monica Oval. Big fist away and a free kick's been given, and the recipient will be Spider Burton. Amazing player for such a big man. He's a cult figure, the Kangaroo supporters. He's pretty good at ground level for a man so tall. Puts it up towards centre half forward. From behind Hart, he was the destroyer. Johnson was good, got it back to Bassett, threw it onto the left boot. The kick goes up towards centre half forward. Opportunity now for Welsh, having a tremendous season. The left-handed handle, not a good one. Puts Stengline under pressure. Welsh butters up again, back to Kane Johnson. Great smother by Anthony Stevens. Tyson Edwards goes through with the right boot, puts it up to McLeod. He couldn't take it, going through Harris. Good approach at the football, and eventually a strong tackle there. And the umpire will bounce about 60 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Well, we said about 10 minutes so far. There's two of them on, Harvey and King.
Hang on, you said 3.5 minutes.
No, I changed that to 10 minutes, Matthew.
Yeah, he did say 10, Matty. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
I got lost. He threw up so many numbers. Ball up just outside the Adelaide forward 50. A chance now for Johnson. Clever handball to Bode. Running Welsh. Loves to kick goals, Scott Welsh. Beautiful goal by the Crows. Wonderful team play. Scott Welsh has got there first.
Adelaide given me the opportunity to travel to Vietnam on a battlefield study tour of Australian war sites. Everywhere we went, there was a new experience, a new story. It's just brought everything into focus. I came back thinking I'm really a part of something big here, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Well, that would bring some joy to Gary Ayres' face, looking a little concerned. We've gone nearly 13 minutes. Adelaide have kicked their first goal courtesy of Scott Welsh, but there's been an infringement in the centre square, so Big Spider will take the ball and receive the free kick. The handball goes out towards Baird. He drives it inside 50. Rocker front position. Smart just got there for the spoil. Quick give out to Anthony Stevens, and he bounced one through. Well, that is a quick reply. The Kangaroos move along to 3-3-21. Adelaide, one straight goal.
Just in both of those instances, Russell, we've seen really quick hands at one at a ball up and another at the contest at front centre. Just quick gives to a player running past. Here it is here. Look at that. That's wonderful.
I mean, if you can get first use of the ball and flip it up as quickly as that, you're always going to give that bloke who's free with the footy an opportunity to lay it off in the throat. And that was just a great piece of play. But that all started back here on the half-back line. When Baird went up the ground, his man didn't follow him. I mean, it's just unforgivable if a forward doesn't chase and harass his backman.
3-3 to 1 goal. 11.5 minutes remaining first quarter. Clark over the top. Robbins doesn't get much on that. Simpson over the top. And has that one gone 15? I don't think so. It's play on. Harvey had an influence as he's come on straight away. Two quick handballs. Edwards got to get through a couple. Does so. Stengline. Here's Johnson. Leading as Rashudo, but he's got to beat a couple. And McCartney, on a losing side last week, held Wilson to a goal, who was very good, takes the mark. Provides the Shepherd as Baird breaks free once again. Robbins shepherding. Good decision by Hayden Kennedy. Shepherding nobody, and the ball wasn't within 5 metres. Bickley switches play. Doughty. Got a player in the lead. Running hard and finds him well. Stevens drops a sitter. Colbert wants to wrap it up. Clayton under pressure. Good pressure too from Benny Hart. And it'll be a ball up just outside the Adelaide Crows 50. Crowd still coming in, a smallish crowd. So they're braving the conditions.
And Mark Stevens, that was one he should have eaten. I mentioned earlier, had a quiet one last week against Matthew Pavlich. Prior to that, he's been in good form, but that was a bad miss. Number of players at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will do it all over again. The Kangaroos 3-3. They've got off to a good start. Adelaide just the one goal, courtesy of Scott Welsh. A couple of interesting matchups. We see young Daniel Harris. He's running with Kane Johnson. Clark wins the tap. Tried to get it down to Bode. Couldn't do so effectively. At the bottom of the pack there, working hard, is Johnson again. Surely the umpire will blow the whistle, and he does.
It's interesting to see also that King has taken over from Makepeace, and he's running with McLeod.
Well, he's got a good strike rate against Adelaide. David King. He's had many a good game over the years. Clark got up high. Burton won the tap. At ground level at Stengline. Tried with a quick give. Gee, they're hard at it, the Kangaroos, at the moment. The ball goes back towards McLeod. Drives it inside 50. Big lead from Fitzgerald. Picked up by Rashuto. And I think he's kicked it. He has.
The Duracell Alkaline Battery, long-lasting with lots of bite. Duracell Copper Top, long-lasting alkaline.
This game, just his 4th goal for the season, and he is playing up forward at the moment as Pickett and Grant still wait their turn in this revised Kangaroos bench. Crows back to within 9 points. Burton with some confidence. Long handball. Harvey, little nudge in the back, seen by the umpire. Umpire Mitchell. And the Crows will switch to Hart. Plenty of space for Ben Hart to run into. And he's got Rashudo on a long lead. Needs to make it. Can't. Archer right with him. Falls to the back for Stevens. He'll go off the ground. He has an airy. Colbert loses it. It falls back to Stevens. Rashudo tries to keep it alive. But he can't. Ball in.
Well, that's 2 opportunities, Mark. So on most 10 out of 10 opportunities, I mean, he would have caught the one before, marked it, and the one off the ground there. Unfortunately for the Crows and Mark Stevens, he didn't make contact with the ball.
Throw in the right forward pocket. Burton takes front position. Over the top was Fitzgerald. Got it down towards Johnson. Quick snap towards goal, but he's offline. And it's a minor score. Adelaide now move along to 2-1-13. The Kangaroos 3-3-21. And we've had about 18 minutes of the first term here at Manuka Oval. As we mentioned, nippy conditions, around 8 or 9 degrees. And when that sun disappears, it gets down to about 5 or 6 very quickly. David King to bring the ball back into play. Nice looking kick, went for plenty of distance. Colbert was the target along with Burton. Punched away though by Clark, picked up by McLeod. Out towards Kane Johnson, tried to hook it around his body and did so brilliantly to find Welsh.
McLeod's acceleration from that loose ball, not many players would have got first use of that. That was acceleration that I don't think any other AFL player has, and that's what makes him such a dangerous player.
Well, Scotty Welsh is the money man. He would be the most accurate kick in the Adelaide Crows lineup. He's kicked 18 goals, 7 so far for the season. He's kicking from about 48 metres. And he is normally very, very good. And that is another good kick. He's kicked his second.
Is back. Game over.
2 goals to Scott Welsh. And we'll go down to the boundary with Rod Jamieson.
Yeah, thank you, Matty. Look, Mark Rashudo spending a fair bit of time up at full forward. The Kangaroos are, after a solid week on the track, quite physical, but Adelaide just slowly working them well into it now.
Yes, they're 2 points down at the moment. And they're trying to get possession through Matthew Bode. King, well done, Edwards. Clever. Back to Hart. Just checked his kick right at the last minute. Great courage from Teague, but it falls to Johnson. He spots Goodwin. He's within range. Goodwin's kick just doesn't get the distance he was looking for. So that'll be a free kick or out of bounds on the full. And another change as Byron Pickett comes on with Shannon Grant. So the big 4 are all on now as Russell checks his watch. They're all on. Makepeace has the ball.
He certainly has. Daniel Harris coming off the ground, along with Digby Morrell. There's a good kick, and it goes in the direction there of Lee Harding, a promising young player. Measures the kick, short pass looking for Pickett. Not a good one. It'll be a test of courage. He always passes those. Stevens did well. Got it back to John Cock. In turn to Perry. They have the numbers, but the handball was poor. Harvey picks it up. He goes to an unprotected goal. He'll need a lucky bounce, and he doesn't get one. He received a stinker, so it's a race for pace on the outer side, and the veteran in Bickley soccers it off the ground and temporarily gets the ball out of the danger zone. Mark Bickley having a sensational season, leading the possessions for Adelaide.
Just on that, Kim, you watch Adelaide quite a bit. He's decided to retire. Surely he'll reconsider.
Well, there's a lot of people that want him to play on. He's averaging 23 possessions for the season, and as I mentioned, he's in sensational form, and he's one of the best second effort players around. And I think you're a long time out of the game, and he's certainly not being carried at this stage of his career.
It'd be, if not McLeod, he's certainly the best player for the season.
Yeah, and the other player that's been in sensational form as well, they've been talking about retirement, is Nigel Smart. Now, Clark got up high, fisted it towards the boundary line, an opportunity there for Doughty. He couldn't take it, and the ball out of play about 55 away from the Kangaroos' goal.
Just getting back to that Bickley thing, I mean, he's no pressure on him. He just wants to go out there and enjoy his last footy. Maybe that's why he's playing so well. He's just enjoying it so much.
Well, here's Clark trying to enjoy his football, but that's not where he likes to be, down at the bottom of the pack. Hart, good release. Simpson, though, swooped on it. Standing in the way, John Cock. Quick switch by the Crows. Bassett. Perry runs for him. Measured kick. Just misses the target. Got to beat two. Clayton with good pace. Excellent work by Clayton. Opens up Harvey. Oh, Nigel Smart got in the way. Good smother on the up picket. Clayton got to beat Bassett. Goalkeeping effort there by Rashudo. Players going in from both sides at the moment. Rashudo got it back. Perry, the old 1-2. Well worked by the Crows. Played down in back play. And a good mark to Baird.
That last contest, Archer's, I can't actually pick up the young Adelaide boy down,
It's
but Archer.
Young John Cock.
John Cock. Tell you what, did Archer go 100 miles an hour?
As he always does, the Kangaroos move forward up towards centre-half forward. Stengline with a quick give, but doing some good work there was Lee Harding to intercept. Rashudo crashes through the left-handed handball at the feet of Bickley. He was equal to that, puts it up for Fitzgerald. One grab, two grabs, and he needs to take some grabs. He's been a quiet player in recent weeks. He's only managed 2 points in the last 2 games. And bad news there for young John Cock. We'll get an update on that shortly from Rod Jamieson. But it looks like he's coming off the ground, and it looks like he's damaged his right arm rather severely. Ryan Fitzgerald had a couple of years with the Sydney Swans, a former South Adelaide player in the SANFL, had an horrific run of injury whilst he was with the Swans. Great expectations on him this year, perhaps too many. Only playing his 18th game of league football. And he's hooked that one, and that's what he does every time. He kicks across his body, and that one's out of bounds on the full.
It was a duck hook.
Yeah. He's got a problem with that, no doubt about that, as we see John Cock coming off, and Massey about to come on, the former Carlton player.
21 plays 19, just under 5 minutes remaining. Colbert. Long kick. In front was Simpson. Stevens getting some possessions. Burton is target. Perry reads it better. Ball. Need a crummer. Kangaroos don't have one. Hart. Back to Stevens in the centre of the ground. John Cock just in a bit of pain at the moment. Stevens. He went for Harvey. A marking option not often used by the Kangaroos, and a very clever mark.
It was a very clever mark, and I think he made it look, I mean, it was an extremely hard mark to take, but I don't think Stevens was actually going for him. I think he was going for the longer option, maybe in Rocker. But he miskicked it, and young Harvey's recipient, and hopefully he can kick truly for the Roos, because they do need it, because Adelaide have really put the screws on the last 5 or so minutes.
Well, he's come off the bench, and this will be his 4th possession, and he's kicking for the Kangaroos' 4th goal. He is a goal kicker, doesn't miss too many. He hasn't missed that one. Goal to Harvey.
I'll just look that up for you. Yes, I can help you with that. Yeah.
Stray.
For a great lineup of communication services, choose Primus Telecom.
Kangaroos with an 8-point advantage. We'll go down to Rod Jamieson for an update.
Byron Pickett, when he's attacked, when he came on running with a flight, was outstanding. Glenn Archer, you never sort of question what he did, but he just hit through the ball. Graham John Cox seems to be okay, just a little shaken.
27 plays 19, the ball back centre field. Anthony Stevens leading from the front. 6 possessions already for the Kangaroos, but the Crows go forward in the dying minutes. T cuts it off at the pass, though. Measures the kick, and it's a good one. Oh, put King under the pump, but he stood his ground, and he picks up a free kick for a high and late tackle. David King on the outer wing as the sun shines here at Manuka Oval. chilly conditions, but I tell you what, when the sun's out, it is a lot better. There's the kick up towards centre-half forward. Sav Rocket from behind, couldn't take it. Welsh, in fact, it was Bode at ground level, couldn't get the kick away. Shannon Grant has a pop shot at goal, but he's offline, and it's another minor score. So that's 8 scoring shots to the Kangaroos. They move along to 4-4-28. Adelaide 3-1-19. And it's been a good start by the Roos, Russell.
It has been a fine start. Actually, both sides, as both coaches mentioned, were going to have a crack at it, and they are doing exactly that.
Bassett to the outer side. Rocket came over the top. He had the height advantage. Ricocheting off Harding, trying to keep it alive, does so cleverly. Then deep into the danger zone. Where are the Flyers? Digby Morrell comes to ground level. Bassett, oh, well done. Just bangs it out off the ground, out of the air. He got 40 metres with it. Clark with a searching handball. Finds the run of Bode through the middle. The Crows promising. Fitzgerald's got to beat 2. Over the back, McCartney. The dangerous McLeod approaches. McCartney, ever defensive, relieving some pressure.
I tell you what, there's not much space out there. Every time we get the footy, either by hand or by foot, you've got about 3 or 4 blokes hanging off you on both sides. It's a great contest so far.
Jason McCartney playing his 100th game for the Kangaroos and 175 all up. He's edged out a pretty useful career with Adelaide, first with Collingwood, then Adelaide, and I think he's found his niche at the Kangaroos. The Crows go forward again. McLeod underneath it. Good defensive spoil. Now at ground level. McLeod picks it up again. Will he feed it off? He tries to weave a bit of magic. Now goes back with the handball. Finds a teammate in Rashuto. Already kicked one just inside 50. Puts it in long. Back underneath it was Fitzgerald. Good spoil there. Makepeace chases the ball, but the ball out of play in the right forward pocket. 28 plays 19, and as many people predicted, Dennis Pagan read the riot act, but no one really thought that he was going to put all those players on the interchange bench, but he did, and it's paid dividends. Good one, quick kick away, but the mark's been taken by McCartney.
In good form at the moment, McCartney. That's 3 times in the last 2 minutes. He's been very good on the last line of defence. Colbert with some space, trying to draw Stevens, so Stevens could run. And this is Anthony. Poor kick. And an easy mark for Nigel Smart. Equal games record holder with Mark Bickley. Clever tap by Perry. Crows promising. Once again, Stevens missed out though with the give. Goes to ground. Anthony Stevens. That was very clever. Kicked it to himself and then just worked up the boundary. They've kept it in. Digby Morrell from 70 metres gets a good shepherd and kicks towards Archer on the lead. Archer's got to beat Massey. Goes to ground. Bassett. Well, that was quick lightning hands from Bassett. He's been pretty impressive at that end. We talk about McCartney at one end. Bassett's doing some good work for the Adelaide Crows in defence at the other.
And in the middle, Anthony Stevens, 8 possessions now, and he is playing a mighty game, leading from the front. Throw in just inside 50. Matthew Clark took it. Quick hands to get it down to Kane Johnson. Likewise, Goodwin trying to get it to Bassett. Wobbly old kick away, and fortune favours the brave because that wasn't good management, but Doughty took the mark. Kane Johnson now 2 against 1. Welsh outnumbered. Baird did well with the body. Colbert ducked the head. Good handball out to Baird. Has a bit of composure, the young fella, and just spots up the captain for possession number 9. Now Simpson with a wobbly screw punt kick. They're nearly inside 50. Morrell takes it again. Another handball. They go forward through King. Another mongrel punt. And the crumbs are taken by Massey. Quick feed to Bassett. Now out to Bode, and Adelaide out of trouble on the outer side.
And that's very uncharacteristic for Stevens and King both to kick mongrel torpedoes down there. Low percentage kicks.
Yeah, they've taken inside their 50 13 times apiece, so both sides have had a chance. 9 points in the dying seconds of the first quarter. Adelaide will need to be quick. Once again, Doughty to Johnson through the middle. Need a mark. McLeod. What can he manufacture? Stevens gives it to him now. The siren beats Rashuto, who had 2 players to his right. And he had Ben Hart and also Chris Massey. So it was a promising attack for the Adelaide Crows. But at the end of this first quarter, it's the Kangaroos, 4-4-28. They lead the Adelaide Crows 3-1-19 from Monica Oval.
Monday on Adelaide's National 9 News, a complete wrap-up of the Crows and the Powers' weekend matches. And if there's a hot sports topic, KG will have the call. Adelaide's National 9 News, Monday at 6.
When you think Italy, you think of things like the latest fashions. Want to go to Subway? but best of all, great tasting bread.
Our new roasted garlic on Italian starts with classic Italian bread, and then we top it with roasted garlic and spices and bake it all together.
Fantastic win.
Great win.
Well done. Let's go, come on.
My dream is to have a franchise of squeegee cleaners all over the city, all over the country, at every intersection. I just need some cash to get me started. Hey, have a nice day.
Kerry's incredible value offer. Get more now at Kerry O'Brien Fitness Centre at Payneham. What an offer! You get more than just membership for 12 months. You get the next 12 months free. And there's more, with an easy payment plan as low as $16 a fortnight. And your membership includes cardio lounge, group cycling, 3 gyms, pool, sauna, spas, aerobics, aqua aerobics, personal gym programs, circuits, Thai boxing and childminding. So hurry, get more now.
Bradford's given me the opportunity to travel to Vietnam on a battlefield study tour of Australian war sites. Everywhere we went, there was a new experience, a new story. It's just brought everything into focus. I came back thinking I'm really a part of something big here, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Monday.
I'm going to be behind the wheel.
Big mistake.
It's only a matter of time before the police decide to end it, one way or the other.
Give them a reason.
All new Malcolm, 8 o'clock Monday on 9.
CSI, it's TV's hottest drama. Case closed. Foul play meets forensics in the most sophisticated crime show yet.
Sounds fascinating.
It is. Tuesday, what begins with an explosion
Seems like somebody beat us here.
you think?
This fire's just a cover-up.
Will reveal something more sinister.
I never liked the way he looked at Tony.
A family with too many secrets.
I could not do what he's being accused of. I believe the DNA. You're watching CSI.
CSI. 8:30 Tuesday on 9.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by Mitre 10, Duracell and TAC. Wipe off 5 or wipe out lives.
Yes, and welcome back to Monica Oval here in Canberra. An entertaining first quarter. The Kangaroos leading by just the 9 points. And it is a very, very cool day at Canberra, but some good football in that first quarter, Russell, and some very quick hands.
Oh, look, there's no flooding. Everyone's having a red-hot go, and it's been really entertaining.
Matthew Clark's been very good with his handwork. Not a lot of disposals, but he is very good. One of the best palm ruckmen in the game.
He is with that dinosaur, Paul Salmon. They seem
The
to have
dinosaur?
Well, he's a dinosaur. They have that ability to be able to palm the ball right down into the chest. And here we have the really interesting one there is the contested possession. So that obviously the boys both sides are really having a red-hot go out there.
Kangaroos 69 possessions in total. 39 of them have come from the contest there. So in and under, inside 50, both teams 14 apiece. So both had their opportunities in that first quarter. Gary Ayres pretty pleased with what he's seen so far. The Kangaroos, Kim, got off to a good start. Adelaide got some momentum back.
Well, they did, and we mentioned that earlier. They've been very poor in their first quarter efforts right throughout the season, bar 2 games so far. So Dennis Pagan obviously looking for a good start, and they got one. And it was interesting when Harvey came on. I mentioned before, Harvey always performs very well against the Adelaide Crows, and he certainly had an impact, and the skipper with his 9 possessions.
There's another game on at the SCG. It is the Western Bulldogs taking on Sydney. We're going to show you the scores. If you want to watch the replay, look away now. And down boundary side, Rod Jamieson with Mark Micken.
Yeah, Mark, I just thought Adelaide really just only weathered the storm that quarter.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we were out-tackled, out-crumbed, and it just indicated they were a little bit sharper than us early. I thought we probably managed it a little bit better in the second half of that quarter, but, you know, the challenge remains for us to get back in top in the area of just going hard at the footy.
And Gary has referred to the preparation of the game.
Yeah, we always knew it was going to be difficult because you know, Kangaroos have come under a lot of criticism and they've got a history of responding to that sort of thing. So we were ready for that, but perhaps, you know, they just got us at the start.
Oh, Mark, good luck.
Mark Micken, former Adelaide best and fairest. Nathan Bassett with 10 possessions on the last line of defence.
Yeah, interestingly, Colbert also getting a lot of the ball with 7 possessions, so the ball was coming in pretty willy-nilly. I think Russell mentioned there were a few pretty ordinary screw punt attempts going in there, and it sort of set it up for the defence.
Look, I think Ayresy would be fairly happy with this start because he knew that the Roos were going to be coming out, and I think he'd be more than happy with what the situation is at the moment.
Nigel Smart continues his battle with Savroka. Second quarter, Clark and Burton again nullified. Shannon Grant caught by 3 Crows. Goodwin the third comes away with the ball. And that's a completely different bench that we saw at the start of the first quarter.
Considerably.
Well, if they're going to win the game, they just have to have those 4 blokes running around.
For sure. Burton. Quick kick forward from Simpson. Johnson in the way. Edwards. To centre half forward, True. Punch came from Colbert. Here's the dangerous McLeod. Robbins has got to chase Bickley, but Mark Bickley's too good for him. And kicks it, and kicks a goal. He's having a fine year. Is the former captain, Mark Bickley. Just confidence, wasn't it? I mean, the pace we saw from him, confidence, he just ran straight past him and was always going to kick the goal.
Always going to kick the goal, but we'll get back to that other man, McLeod. I mean, he made something completely out of nothing then. His acceleration is just unbelievable.
Oh,
and here's Bickley, composed, enjoying himself, just like an under-12 kid out there, kicking goals. He's just loving it.
He's a nice kicker.
And kicking his 70th career goal. And he was pretty pumped about that. You mentioned Andrew McLeod. I think he was convinced he'd be able to break that tackle. Couldn't do so. Normally can, as Tyson Stenglein goes to the interchange bench, and coming on now is Ben Nelson. Nelson, another former Carlton player, only managed 11 games over the past 2 seasons, and he's played mainly off the interchange bench this year for the Crows, but he's certainly hard at it. Now, back centre field, Clark becoming a factor now. Got his hands to that one, but Burton stole it. Got the kick forward, taken by Digby Morrell. Good, quick give. They go forward again, but it's not accurate, and that man Bassett gets another possession. This will be number 11, and he launches into it. It's a wobbly helicopter kick out wide to Ben Hart. Hart puts it out towards the outer wing, looking for Kane Johnson, being shadowed there by Teague. Was he held? Over the top. Good desperation by Teague. The umpire calls play on, and that is umpire Michael Avon, and he will bounce on the outer side. And we see Tyson Stenglein there just receiving some treatment to his left nostril. And was he held? Maybe he was. The umpire wouldn't buy into that one, but a good contest between the 2 players on the outer side, and a free kick will go the way of Spider Burton in that ruck contest.
Geez, he's been good since he's been across at the Roos these last few years. His agility, the number of times he gets the ball, his hit outs, he's a real cult figure.
And 9th in the best and fairest last year, so he's been a performer. The ball comes up to Savroka, couldn't take it from the back of the pack. He tried to 3 deep. Bassett tries to get another possession there. Harvey at the bottom of the pack. Quick feed out towards Smart. Smart in turn to Hart. Adelaide starting to get a bit more of the football as Johnson brings it around his body. Colbert with desperation couldn't take it. Teague looked a likely type last year. Make peace with the handball. Oh, Shannon Grant left it behind. This could be costly. Perry got it back to the magic man in McLeod. Measures the kick, puts it inside 50, looking for Rashudo. Needs support. Comes in the form of Goodwin. Normally very accurate, but not this time. Through for a minor score, and he's not happy with that miss.
I mean, that was an unfortunate turnover there by Shannon Grant, and the way in which McLeod just pounced on the ball again. And as he did, I mean, he didn't hit the target, but the ball at least was out in front of him and had a forward leading hard. Fed off the ball, and unfortunately a minor score resulted.
And it could have been dangerous from McLeod to Rashudo to Goodwin. They want to give it up to those 3. Harvey, Grant combining. Stevens, oh, good mark. A lot harder than it may have looked if you're watching at home. He didn't know what was coming. Out in front, And just pushing it through for a rush behind Stevens.
Adelaide have made a move. Mark Stevens has gone into defence, and Ian Perry now playing up at centre half forward.
4-5, plays 4-2. Bassett with a short kick to Massey. No one on the mark, with some space. And he wanted Clark, and got rid of Burton. Dowdy crumbing. Indecision there, but decides to go long, and why not? Rashudo's on the burst. Can't mark. Ball comes to ground. Archer. Have to be careful. Baird got it from Makepeace. Bow sharks it. Clever towards Welch. Round the body, he'll kick this for sure. He doesn't miss. His third.
The limited edition Statesman International. Only the best.
Adelaide with a 3-point advantage, courtesy of Scott Welsh's third goal. He's been in rare form in season 2002, kicked 4-1 against the Dockers last week. Burton got up high. The tap goes back down to Burton, does his own roving. It's a wobbly kick forward. Harvey with a good turn of speed. Gee, Stevens had a big head start there, but Harvey did well. Digby Morrell then just froze for a moment. Stevens gets it back towards Tyson Edwards, to Stevens again. Clark over the top, finds Massey, runs into trouble. Oh, big hit by Byron Pickett, and Massey is down. That was a huge bump. The umpire gets in the way. McLeod says, get out of my way. Then unloads from 50 metres, and I think he's kicked it. What a goal, Andrew McLeod. That was a beauty. And Massey, well, he's a bit shell-shocked, but he's getting some encouragement from his teammates behind the play.
I tell you what, we talk about McLeod. I mean, that was just, he had a couple of options leading up the ground. Instead of going for the short 50 on 50, he went long. He backed himself, and so he should, because he's a great kick of the footy. And look, young Massey there got hit by a Mack truck, but to his credit, straight back up on his feet. Shows a lot of courage.
Crows have kicked 3 goals this quarter, but importantly for them and dangerous for the Kangaroos, McLeod is really a factor now.
He is just pure silk, isn't he? One of the best going around, if not the best.
Challenge being set once again for the Kangaroos. They need to answer with a goal. Burton doing it all. Stevens just wants the ball. So does Johnson. Bode. Fortunate, just threw it out. Dowdy was there. Stevens. Up and under, tough one to mark. Gee, Harding almost made it. Robbins backpedaling. Grant. And they work it forward now, the Kangaroos. One-on-one contest, Morrell with Stevens. Ball stays in, Pickett. No, it was out just before he kicked it. And Burton looking on. Haven't seen Burton yet.
No, not yet. But you just sense that Adelaide are really building, and it's going to be very important for the Roos for the next 5 to 10 minutes to make sure that they're about where they are at the moment. They wouldn't want the Crows to get out to about 4 or 5 goals.
9 points the margin. It was 9 points the other way at quarter time. Clark. Chance for Edwards. Replay.
Interesting matchups. We see Benny Robbins, an underrated player, couldn't really crack it with the Brisbane Lions. He's got the job on Mark Bickley this afternoon, who, as we mentioned, has been in rare form this season. Also Archer and Rue, we spoke about that. And Teague and Goodwin. Byron Pickett trying to drag himself into the game. The Kangaroos go forward again. Bassett gets another possession. The Hound Dog puts it out towards the outer wing. Makepeace in a diving attempt. A lot of pressure out there. Oh, McLeod just plucked it from 2 players. One of them was Archer, and he puts it out in the run of Goodwin, who cleverly taps it out to the run of Welsh. He's kicked 3. He's going to feed this one off to Goodwin. Another quick handball to Rashuto. Now back to Welsh. He still may get his 4th. A great tackle by Harding. Is it holding the ball? It is, and rightly so. Well, they had some chances, but great pressure by the Kangaroo defence as Harvey plays on quickly, and they're about to run out of the danger zone.
Harding with his bouncing the ball. He's running to the interchange bench, and that is good chasing, good pressure from Ben Hart. And Harding has turned it over. Opportunity for the Crows now. Bassett laterally to Bode, running Edwards. McLeod was an option short. Rashudo the leader. Rashudo, I should say, the leader. And McCartney getting back. McCartney, this time with a long option to Pickett. Wonderful kick. Pickett quickly. Robbins got some space. Over the top he goes to King. King should goal from here. No one in front of him. Decides to do it off 2 steps and kicks it. Good confident kick from King.
They burst through the banner and out they come. A team of champions if ever there was one. And right behind them, yes, the driving force behind the team. It's just a perfect combination.
Golden draft, thanks.
All she was worried about was losing her rating 1.
Held a rating 1 for the last 3 years and your insurance company wants to take it away? Call Amy. They'll give it back.
Three-point advantage. Let's go down to Rod Jamieson on the boundary.
Yes, Kangaroos. Dennis Pagan really asking a lot of his players. They are hunting the player. Byron Pickett can't be too far away when he hunts and knocks out players like that. Chris Massey, just keep an eye on him.
Back in the centre, a quick feed, not an effective one. Oh, still there by McLeod. That was good over to Stengline. Searching Hamble, looking for Massey. Thought about the give behind, kicks around his body. Not 15. Goodwin takes it. Wobbles one forward. McCartney's attack on the ball is brilliant. Picking up the crumbs is Colbert and back out to the skipper again. You talk about Captain Courageous. He is having a real crack this afternoon, Anthony Stevens. Free kick on the outer side, player held. And that will be Shannon Grant. Only 7 possessions last week. Last year's best and fairest winner at the Kangaroos. Drives it long, big leap from behind, and that was Stevens. Got the handball out towards Tyson Edwards. Has time to lift the eyes. Likes to run with the football. In turn, puts it to Fitzgerald. Fell awkwardly and grabbed the right knee. Not good for Fitzgerald or the Adelaide Crows, and he is down. Gee, it was an innocuous contest, but he fell awkwardly, and all of a sudden the Kangaroos are a chance through Lee Harding. He likes to run. He has 2 bounces, kicks to an unprotected goal. It's coming back, but not enough. And the Kangaroos now move along to 5-6, Adelaide 6-2, and Ryan Fitzgerald not looking good at all.
And the stretcher immediately out, so that doesn't look good for Ryan Fitzgerald. We know he's had problems with his knees before, and he is in, obviously, all sorts of air. You can see here on the replay, he just comes and it just buckles out to the right and immediately clutches his knee. So that is real bad news. So perhaps another serious injury, perhaps another serious knee injury in this game. It's an issue that is often discussed, and it can be discussed on the couch on Monday night with Jared Mike and also Lee Matthews as special guests on the couch on Monday night.
Look, you just feel for the kid. I mean, that looks as though it's going to be his 3rd.
Rod Jamieson, boundary side once again.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a hush around the crowd down here at the moment. They really are feeling for Ryan Fitzgerald. He's just come back after 2 years, 1 shoulder reconstruction, 1 knee. And talking to Darren Jarman, one of the assistant coaches earlier today, they were just starting to be really impressed by the way Ryan Fitzgerald has come about and was just starting to string some games together. So huge concern down here from the Adelaide point of view.
Yes, this is terrible news for Ryan, and it's an option up forward for Adelaide. And this is something we're seeing in the modern game now, Russell.
When the boys get together, when something... Yeah,
when there's a stretcher out?
Well, yeah, instead of standing around scratching your head, you might as well get together and have a bit of a yap and try and work out why things are going the way they are, or what we can do to be able to... and you've got all the leaders in there, so I'm sure they'll all be pumping each other up. And as you can see, the Roos over there, they're very tight, very compact. They realise that they've got a real fight on their hands, and they realise that they have to maybe increase the pressure a little bit to get back into the game, because at the moment you think Adelaide maybe have got a slight advantage.
It was interesting to watch during that time that the umpire in the centre of the ground was watching the interchange bench, because we saw a couple of weeks back, Melbourne I think it was, their interchange players ran on when there was a stop in play, so they got into the huddle. And so the umpire was watching to see to make sure that the interchange players didn't run onto the ground unless they are being changed legally, as they are now, as Kane Johnson comes off for Burton. And once again, that just looks terrible, Kim.
Yeah, well, the moment it happened, it looked fairly awkward. And as Russell said, you have to feel for the young man. He's had a number of injuries, and he's only managed, well, this was his 18th game of senior football. And I think I just saw him mouth the words only moments ago, I can't believe this. And It's a tragedy because you're living a dream when you're playing AFL football, and his dream has temporarily come to an end. Let's hope it's not as bad as it looks. If not, he's out for another 12 months, and he'll have to wait for 2003.
Well, he must have a lot of character to come back from a knee operation in his shoulder and just starting to get on top of things. And it'll be another challenge to him, and apparently has got great character, and hope everything works out for the young lad.
Ben Hart restarts play. 2 points. Adelaide Crows lead. 12.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. From Manuka Oval in Canberra. An oval where the Kangaroos have a good record, and they have a free kick in the middle of the ground. Shane Clayton.
Okay, come on.
Goes wide, drops short. Massey, good punch, but in the right spot. Digby Morrell, around the body, Digby, and he puts the Kangaroos back in front.
One of the best things I did here while I've been here at ADFA was definitely the adventure training. From the bottom, it doesn't look that far. You go at the top, you look out, it's like, oh. Then you go to take the first step, your legs shaking as anything, you step out into the ledge, then you just get going, and it's just such a good feeling. Just, yes, I love this. Learning how to lead and get confidence, this place is it. It's great.
Back in front with a 4-point advantage. Marsh in the ruck, so too Porter. Spider Burton having a rest, and another centre square infringement. This time the free kick will go the way of Adelaide. Marsh takes it, fed it off towards McLeod, but will have to go back behind the mark.
Umpire blown time on, and as always, there's always someone behind the ruckman when that happens, isn't there? Immediately.
Not a bad way to pick up a quick stat. An easy one at that. Matthew Clark has gone back to full forward. Took a big hanger there last week. Marsh puts it in looking for Perry. Big lead. Had 2 to beat. Bode was good front and square. Feeds it off to Stengler. And that would possibly be the worst attempted goal you will ever see. And the worst kick the young Tyson will ever attempt at goal.
That is what we call a shocker.
It is a shot. I mean, he didn't even actually steady. He didn't even change his direction. He kicked it, actually, the direction that he was running. He didn't square himself up at all. And that's the reason. He kicked true, but went straight.
Bit of a chat here. Now, from where we sat, that looked definitely out of bounds on the full, but it's gone through for a behind, much to the chagrin of the Kangaroos fans just behind. Let's take a good look at this, Russell.
Jason McCartney wasn't happy.
Oh, it's missed by a mile. That's missed by a fair way. But anyway, it's a behind to Adelaide. It's in the book, and we move on.
Okay, the Kangaroos to go forward again through McCartney. That was unbelievable. Porter underneath, a strong attempt. The mark not paid, though. Perry at ground level, so too Colbert, as the sun disappears here at Manuka Oval, the nation's capital. And very chilly, around 6 or 7 degrees. In front of our commentary position, Adelaide. A lot of handballs, almost double the Kangaroos as the ball is thumped down from Porter to Pickett. Didn't quite get onto that one. Underneath it, Dowdy nearly completed the mark. Robbins is there, pushed in the back according to the umpire, and will pick up the free kick. The crowd's starting to get involved. 3-point advantage to the Kangaroos over Adelaide. They've gone inside 50 on more occasions. Stevens with the fist. King is lurking. So too is Burton. Couldn't take it. King hard at the ball. Gets another opportunity. Concedes ground with the handball. Goes back to Teague. That was touched off the boot, was it? Harris is there. Gets a chance. Oh, met front on crudely by Bickley. And, well, Bickley had eyes for the ball, but he met young Harris head on. And the free kick will be given, and rightly so.
So that was fantastic play before by David King. He had 2 blokes to beat. And he has got great pace. And he really put his foot down. Gathered the ball truly and with good hands, and now we've got the recipient here going to be having a shot at goal.
Well, he may not be at the moment. He looks to be in a spot of bother here, Russell. He just ducked his head as Bickley approached in natural instinct, isn't it? You see Bickley or anybody coming at you at that pace, just trying to avoid any collision. And Mark Bickley just disappointed in the way it turned out.
And Matthew, Mark Bickley always very front on. And as you mentioned, Harris just ducking the head at the vital moment, and he looks a very groggy boy. Hopefully he's okay.
Let's hope so. It's just his 9th game of footy, Daniel Harris. Just 20 years old, and he's certainly... Let's take a good look at this. There it is. It feels pressure coming just and front on. That's all it was.
And there we see another angle, and yeah, definitely just ducked the head. Rewarded with the free kick, and now one of his teammates. Not a bad man to have the football either.
Gee, I wonder where Brett Harvey came from.
Actually,
there he is in the background.
Looking at that actual incident, I mean, there wasn't a free kick there at all.
Well,
I mean, when you're
technically, yeah.
Technically, I mean, Bickley's done everything proper. He's come in, he's come low, and unfortunately the fellow ducked his head.
Harvey started on the interchange bench, has kicked one, has a kick from 48. That is his second, dead straight.
The Duracell Alkaline Battery, long-lasting with lots of fight. Duracell Copper Top, long-lasting alkaline.
Daniel Harris going down to the rooms as we go down to the boundary with Rod Jamieson.
Yeah, Matty, just looking at Daniel Harris coming off, really is groggy, had no legs. Both trainers really trying to hold him up, and as you saw, straight up to the rooms. So he'll have a sore head, but again, the Kangaroos players just fierce at the footy and the player.
Adelaide kicked the first three. The Kangaroos got the next three. The margin is back to 9 points as it was at quarter time. And we've just got 9.5 minutes remaining in this first half as the ball beats Stevens over the line.
So throw in about 50 out from the Kangaroos goal. Anthony Stevens, 12 possessions. Nathan Bassett, 13. Big fist down, that was by Rocker. He's been well held by Smart. Now picking it up Burton, who only came on a few moments ago. Hart there with a clever little dummy. Now again it's with Bassett. Possession number 14. Puts it out for the run of Doughty. Will it sit? It doesn't. He nearly slipped. Has time though and some composure. Now stabs out a pass there and it's not a good one. And the mark's been taken by T. He's doing a pretty good job on Simon Goodwin. Has the ball at centre half back. Kicks it long. Harvey looking for the crumbs. He's there too. Grabs it. Tackled. Play on the call. Porter tried to soccer it off the ground. Bassett in there again. Porter was very good, but a free kick's been given, and it will go the way of Nathan Bassett. Well, I don't think he's ever had this many disposals. We're not even at half-time. Bassett has good vision. Finds Massey. Here comes Archer, and just couldn't get there in time. Let him know that he was coming, though. Prosciutto wants it short. That's ignored. I think Adelaide trailing by 9 points now. And there's another good mark by T.
I think that was indicative of Archer's frame of mind. If he gets frustrated, he probably would have cleaned him up. They're going okay at the moment, the Kangaroos, so that was pretty disciplined from Archer there.
Yeah, he can be very aggressive. That perhaps understates it somewhat. Ben Hart there does the don't argue and does it successfully. Pirouette's out of trouble. The kick went out to Bowe. They're going indirect, but they found McLeod. Another short pass, and this time looking for Goodwin, who takes the mark just inside 50. So they're doing the hard way at the moment, Russell.
Yeah, they're going wide. It's as wide as you can possibly get. Now, without any doubt, they'll go for the hot spot here, about 15, 20 metres out in front of the 10-yard square. There we go.
You've called it correctly. Put it up very high. Bassett's drifted down. Didn't have to worry about it, though. Burton front position takes his 40th mark for the season. He's taken more than anyone for Adelaide. Also kicked quite a few goals this year. He's the second goal kicker, leading goal kicker with 9.
I'm sure Dennis and the North Melbourne defence and the North Melbourne the Kangaroos on ballers would have known. That just amazes me. They would have watched the highlights over the last 5 or 6 games, that they always go for the hot spot. And it was just a huge hole there.
Burton lines up and it looks pretty good off the boot. He's kicked his first for the game.
Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
Mum and Dad are going to be there, so make sure you wear something decent for a change.
Wear something, wear something, wear something, wear something.
Wear something decent. Peter Shearer Menswear, Rundle Mall.
Burton's first goal. Crows back to 3 points. Tight contest at Monaco. We've seen a couple of fantastic finishes already in round 8. Let's hope we're in for another one here at Canberra. Hard work in the middle. Prosciutto tumbles out. Stevens tumbles out after the event.
It's interesting that they got Pickett up at full forward. I would have thought a bloke who was struggling for a bit of form, maybe throw him on the ball, half-back flank, half-forward, but he's being burnt up there at the moment.
Maybe on the other side of the coin, looking for a mismatch. Morrell, Stevens, chance to test Pickett out. He's on the lead. Oh, the kick was too low for him. Wrapped up by Rocker.
Pretty hard
Underneath
to get
all
away
that.
from Severio Rocker.
There's young Doughty.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, if it was 2 or 3 inches higher, that move of Pickett to full forward might have...
It would have been a fantastic move, Russell, and you were wondering why he was there, and that was why.
There's the tap down to Rashudo, having a run on the ball. Whacks out a huge handball, more in good hope than anything else. Now an opportunity there for Baird. Looks a clever type of player. The kick goes back. That looked like Shannon Grant, I think. And Rashudo in there and forces it over the line for another minor score. The Kangaroos move along to 49. Adelaide 45, a 4-point advantage with only minutes remaining in their second term here at Manuka Oval. The ball brought back into play. Rashudo on the end of that one. Thought about playing on. Looks like Nigel Smart's about to have a rest. Kane Johnson ready to come back on. Starting to get fairly dark here at Manuka Oval. Rashudo kicks long. Perry the target. Sav Rocker is there. The ball at the back of the pack. Simpson picks it up nicely. Had plenty of it this year. More kicks than anyone in the competition. But that's not a good one as it finds Rashudo. Now they'll have a loose man. It should be Stevens. The mark taken by Burton. In turn it goes back to Hart. He eventually finds Stevens, who takes a diving mark. Now McLeod's lurking across the half-forward line. Stevens brings it in laterally. King back onto the ground at the expense of Severio Rocker, and he might get right into the action. It was kicked straight to him. Massey didn't know he was coming. Going through his plate, and the former Fitzroy and Brisbane player. Big turnover here. Here's the man. What a master move. Having him at full forward. Byron Biggers kicked one, Russell. And that was far too easy.
Obviously, that's the reason Kim White's on there.
Oh, he's got a smile on his face. He's kicked the goal.
He has kicked the goal, and I'll tell you what, we mentioned maybe 8-10 minutes ago that Adelaide, I know I've mentioned this already, looked as though they were starting to gain control. The scoreboard wouldn't reflect that, but just the look of the game out there, and to the credit of the Roos, have really fought back and kicked a couple of unanswered goals.
Hope you're enjoying this uninterrupted AFL coverage right here on Fox Footy. And Byron Pickett has a goal. So the guys he started on the bench, Pickett has 1, Harvey has 2, and King has 1. So the return is excellent for the Kangaroos. They're back out, well, they're back to a 10-point margin when it looked as though, as Russell said, that the Crows were going to run away with this game. Still 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Clayton. Here's Johnson, just back on the ground. Archer, thanks to Welsh slipping, gets the easy mark. Stevens is a player on the wing. That was Clayton. Decided to go longer to Digby Morrell. And the diving mark quickly on the up to Clayton. He goes ahead to Harvey. Good kick from Clayton. Well weighted in between a couple of Crows.
Magnificent kick, but I tell you that Morrell, I mean, he can run hard. It's nothing better than having a forward lead up the ground for target to shoot at. And he's really presented himself this afternoon.
So Harvey already with 2 goals from his 7 disposals. Just checking the Canberra breeze. We're right behind it. Harvey, to make the margin 16 points, he is successful. And a danger period, I think now, Russell, the roles have been reversed, a danger period for the Crows.
That's right. I mean, momentum's very important. And at this particular stage, the Roos do have the initiative. And as you mentioned, there's still about 3 or 4 minutes to go. And Ayresy would not like to go in at half-time, maybe 4 or 5 goals down. So they've got a real challenge the next 4 or 5 minutes to close down the running machine of the Roos.
16-point advantage to the Kangaroos at Manuka Oval. And the players that started on the interchange bench doing a lot of the damage. Harvey, 8 possessions, 3 straight goals. And in the ruck is Marsh. Porter has a second crack at it. Gets it down towards Bode. Was he tackled high? Yes, according to the umpire. Well, Adelaide need to start running again. The quick feed went out to Kane Johnson. Has a loose player wide, and that is Tyson Edwards. Has the luxury of a bounce. Loves to run with the football. Chips over a short pass. And he's found Burton, who has kicked 1. But this one is a far more difficult angle. Has a pretty loose leg when he kicks, Brett Burton. A few of them tend to wobble a little bit off the boot. He'll be kicking from about 35 out, and he can get that margin back to 10 points. The Birdman, as he's known, lines up, kicks it very high, and it goes across the face of goal. Teague up high just to ensure it does go over the line. So the margin 15 points. And the Kangaroos another chance to go into attack.
Well, the angle there from where Burt was shooting from, if he had 10 shots, maybe he might get 1 or 2. Low percentage kick.
9-7 plays 7-4. The vice-captain has it. Good spoil, came from Bassett's, been very good. Makepeace goes back to Stevens. Massey, was he held? Yes.
He seems to have recovered from that hard hit he took before from Pickett.
As you can see, just some rain falling at the moment with the sun still out. A little bit confusing for some, but the weather has been quite unusual here today in Canberra. Massey. Big pack forms. Archer with strength and courage from the front. Had a good second quarter, Glenn Archer. Over the top, short pass. Harding got a runner. In Simpson. Didn't see Burton. Now needs some help from Cochrane. Clever handball to Pickett. They'll get out of jail here, the Roos, because they were gone. Pickett's kick out in front of Grant. Chasing his boat. He's a left footer. And he eventually tries to get there. Can't. Goes back. Lang. King. Smart right with him. Good pressure from Nigel Smart. It's got to beat a couple. And he slaps it forward. I reckon he realised he was outnumbered there and just wanted to push it over the boundary.
Good work by Matthew Bode. Then another left footer, so he was aware what Shannon Grant was attempting to do.
There just mustn't have been any talking there when that collision took place. Was it Grant? When he got
Simpson?
Simpson, sorry, when Simpson got hit off the ball.
61 plays 46, just over 2 minutes remaining in the second term here at Monica, and a free kick's been given. Advantage has been paid. It goes out to Harvey again. Possession number 9 or 10. It's a wobbly kick forward. Doughty applied the spoil. Loose ball is now picked up by Massey. Needs support. Comes in the form of Perry. Likewise out to Doughty, so they've worked that out beautifully. And the kick's not a good one, though, and Teague having a very good second term. David Teague, playing his 11th game of AFL football, drives his side inside 50. Bassett shields his eyes from the sun. Picking up the crumbs there is Perry, around his body, back to Teague, couldn't control it. On his knees there was Doughty, the give to Goodwin. Has the luxury of 2 bounces, measures the kick looking for Welsh over his head. Oh, great attempt there by Burton. Did he keep it in play? He did. Little bit of magic there as Colbert goes to ground and gets the handball back to Cochrane, and the Kangaroos should get out of trouble, and that's courtesy of Makepeace.
And they've got some players on the outer side. One is Shannon Grant, so the ball travelling up and down this Monica Oval fairly quickly at the minute. Grant with some space gets half a shepherd. Enough to get him all the way almost to the 450. Drives it inside now. Rocker! Oh! Rebound footy from the Kangaroos, Russell.
It was rebound, and the way in which Grant ran the ball up there, but it was interesting. Maybe it wasn't on screen. David King, whilst he was running away from Grant, was telling him to keep the ball coming, which he did. You need blokes telling you what's going on out there, and exactly as the Crows did a couple of goals ago, they've aimed for that hot spot, and there was Rocker. And the percentages are that's the best place to kick goals.
Rocker kicked the first goal of the match. And this to make the margin a game-high 21 points. From about 40 metres, big Severio Rocker has pushed it, I think. No, he's happy with it. It's a goal. Roos by 21. And one of the big 4 involved once again.
It's amazing what been threatened to be dumped and be left on the bench. I mean,
maybe it's a new tactic for coaches. Start your best 4 on the bench.
Yeah, but all those 4 players have been great servants of the club, and they've got a lot of pride. And anyone who's that type of thing happened to them, if you have got any pride in your performance, which those 4 boys do, you do come out seething, and all 4 responded positively, which is what the coach wanted.
Yeah, great piece of psychology there by Dennis Pagan. Not the first time he's applied that. Back centre field, and the Kangaroos are showing some real spirit. The tap went from Porter down to Adam Simpson. The kick, not a big one. Intercepted there by Doughty. as the siren sounds to end the first half, and the Kangaroos, in a spirited performance, lead by 21 points.
Yes, and Adelaide had got that margin out to 9 after trailing by quarter time at 9, but 5 unanswered goals by the Kangaroos have got the margin 10-7, 67. Adelaide 7-4 46. It's the players that started on the bench are having an effect. Brent Harvey on screen with 3 goals. And we're in for a great second half here from Canberra. The Kangaroos by 21.
This news break is brought to you by Bank SA Home Loans.
Good afternoon. Teachers will meet on Tuesday to decide whether to accept the government's 12% pay rise offer. Premier Mike Rann met with the union yesterday in a bid to end the dispute. The increase is worth up to $125 a week. The Prime Minister has flown to Dili for East Timor's Independence Day celebrations. At midnight tonight, Janana Gusmao will become the nation's first ever president. And the Dalai Lama has arrived in Melbourne on the start of his 9-day tour of Australia. Enjoy the rest of the footage.
Wouldn't it be nice if the world was cat-free? You could be a soccer superstar. The referee would blow his chocolate whistle. A shot of goal would even break the bar. And if you went and scored the winner, you'd win the cup and eat it for your dinner. Wouldn't it be nice?
The Jack Fingleton scoreboard here at Manuka Oval, showing you that the Kangaroos are in control at half-time. They lead 10-7 to Adelaide 7-4 in a game of, I guess, Russell Green switching momentum in that second quarter. We thought Adelaide were going to move away. Kangaroos came right back.
Well, about the 15-minute mark, we called it. We said, look, as though Adelaide were going to get on top, but to the credit of the Roos, they were absolutely fantastic. And 5 unanswered goals, which is great footy.
For the Crows, Mark Rasherdo in his 200th game playing up forward as a marking target. He's had 12 disposals. He's knocked a couple of people over as well, but only the 1 goal from Rasherdo.
Yeah, well, he's been used up forward a fair bit, and it's pretty hard to get a lot of possessions up there, but he has kicked one, and a few times there's been a bit of spillage, which has been responsible for, and goals have resulted. So he's still playing his part in the actual game.
Now, I know we've mentioned it a couple of times in that first half, but the 4 players that Dennis Pagan benched, some of his quality players, they've come on at varying times in that first quarter, and they really have had an effect on the game. The Rockets been fired and they've answered.
Look, I mean, they have been great players for their club, and they've got great respect and pride within themselves, and they just want to get back out there and play as well as they possibly can. And as you can see, Pickett's been a recipient of a goal there, but Harvey's been fantastic, and they've really had a red-hot go.
In particular, Harvey, who with a well-weighted kick there from Shane Clayton, goes back and kicks the goal, his 3rd goal for the first half. So he has been very good indeed. A little signal there to the crowd. And Shannon Grant provided himself with some space from a good switch from Anthony Rocker, resulting in a goal again for the Kangaroos.
Well, all of those players that you've mentioned have been very important, but the most important thing is what's going to come up next. Whatever's happened in the past, not meaning much, we've got to play well in the next quarter.
Severo Rocker with 2 goals for the first half. When we look at the stats, what do they tell you? Apart from the fact, I think uncontested possessions, the Kangaroos well down compared to the Crows.
Yeah. Well, the thing really, that contested possessions part there, I reckon the last 10 or 15 minutes, that's where they really put the screws in, would have got most of those stats on that particular area of the contested possessions. They were fantastic that last 10 or 12 minutes of that quarter.
Inside 50, the Kangaroos just a little bit ahead, 31-27. We'll take a break from Manuka Oval. We'll talk to Alan Ayler, the chairman of the Kangaroos, after this.
Beware. It's out there this winter.
This is not a rare disease.
A bug just like the flu. But just look what it can do.
Look at this
Richard. Thank you.
And worse still, young people are most at risk.
I lost my fingers and I lost my lower legs.
Also, $1 billion Michael, the highest paid sportsman in the world.
You have to prove yourself every time.
When Toyota presents 60 Minutes tonight.
It's a red-hot game out there today. A huge pack of players around the football. Someone's got to get it moving. Now he's in the clear. Watch out. Oh, he's got that very high. A ferocious tackle. Oh!
Golden draft, thanks. Looking for a health fund that gives you more? Like 20% off non-prescription pharmacy items and travel insurance, and 30% off sunglasses and gym and movie discounts? To find out how easy it is to switch to health partners, call 8223 7588.
I'm Peter Jackson, Melbourne suit specialist. We're having a massive designer suit sellout this Saturday until Sunday, May 26. $700 English and Italian fabric suits, now $299. See us at the Royal Adelaide Showgrounds, Wayville.
It's Lerva at first sight. Lerva from Grenfell Hi-Fi. Simply the world's best brands. Grenfell Hi-Fi.
I'll just look that up for you. Yes, I can help you with that.
Yeah.
Stray! What a great lineup of communication services. Choose Primus Telecom.
The Peter Brock Foundation helps with lots of worthwhile causes. One of them is racing to the help of people with leukemia. And if you can help us, bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
This is one race we can try to win.
Sunday night at the movies. The cop who won't quit is back.
You can't find him dead someplace. He's running, folks.
You got a fugitive. But this time, he's chasing more than just a fugitive.
U.S. Marines, Special Forces, CIA, Black Ops. What do you intend to do?
Catch him. Academy Award winner Tommy Lee Jones, Wesley Snipes, Robert Downey Jr. The all-action blockbuster U.S. Marshals, 8:30 tonight on 9.
Welcome back to Monica Oval at half-time. The Kangaroos, 10-7-67, leading Adelaide 7-4-46. Harvey with 3, Rocker with 2, Stevens, Clayton and Pickett with singles, and Adelaide, Welsh has 3 goals. Well, it's half-time at the SCG. Important game for the Western Bulldogs. It's a home game for them up at the SCG. I'm going to show you the scores because I know some of you want to take the replays. And, well, we're going to show them to you score shortly. Who did you go for in this game? Western Bulldogs or Sydney?
I have picked Sydney to win this particular game because of their form during the course of the year. Win, lose, and they lost last week, so I'm going for Sydney.
We've kept you in suspense long enough. Here's the scores. Games in Canberra. Very important for the Kangaroos Football Club. Kim Dillon has ventured down from the commentary box to the boundary, and he's with Chairman of the Kangaroos, Alan Aylett.
Thank you, Matthew. I think I just caught that. We're having a few problems down here, but I am with the president of the Kangaroos Football Club, Dr. Alan Aylett. And firstly, Alan, you'd be fairly pleased with the way things have gone here up to half-time, a 21-point advantage.
Well, yes, Kim, you're right. But, I mean, I've been in football a long, long time, and 21 points at half-time these days doesn't mean all that much, does it?
No,
really?
It doesn't. You're right there, and the signs were a little ominous halfway through that second term, but your boys rallied nicely.
Yes, but I don't think the Crows are playing very well at the moment, and they can play a lot better. So, you know, it's pretty much in the balance at this stage, I would say.
Alan,
so all of the Kangaroo supporters watching out of Melbourne anyway, just hang in there, guys, because we're thinking of you up here, and we just desperately hope that in the next half we can keep matching it with the Crows.
Yes, well, it's been a tumultuous season for you. There's no doubt about that. You got off to a good start. Alan, how do you quantify the success of coming up here to Manuka Oval over the years?
Well, it's a long-term proposition, and, I mean, we're just finalising further negotiations with the ACT government and the AFL. Everyone throughout Australia knows that we've just negotiated a deal with Colonial Stadium, and our home bases in Melbourne. Our administrative headquarters will be in Melbourne. Our licensed club operations will be out of Colonial Stadium, so we're a Melbourne-based club. Anything we do in Canberra is specifically for financial advantage and to gather more of a marketplace for the Kangaroos, so that we can continue to survive in this very, very tough competition known as the AFL.
Well, you mentioned the marketplace. How has it been up here in terms of membership? Have you noticed an increase, and are you happy with the support you've got here today?
We'll do better as the years go on. So far, so good, but like I said before, it is a long-term proposition, and we're getting great support from the AFL, and negotiations we've had with the ACT government to date, and over the last couple of days, and just talking to the Deputy Chief Minister just today. I mean, everyone in Canberra wants to see the code prosper here, and we've got a significant part to play, and we're only playing that part two reasons. Firstly, to develop the code, but like I said, to substantiate the ongoing performances of the Kangaroos.
Well, the crowd's certainly not a big one today, but they are enthusiastic. But there was some talk that we may experience some snow. Fortunately, that hasn't happened. It is very chilly here. It's around 5 or 6 degrees. Now, your coach, Dennis...
It's bloody cold.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't know if I should say it or not, Alan. Now, your coach, Dennis Pagan, he's a wily customer. He read the riot act during the week. He named a number of senior players, 3 of them, in fact, on the interchange bench. A lot of the scribes didn't think he'd follow through and start them on the bench. He did, and once they came on, they've had an incredible impact.
Yes, they have. They've all done very, very well, and I think it has worked, yes.
Yep, no doubt about that. Brent Harvey looking very dangerous. Well, thanks for joining us here on the boundary. I know it's chilly. I'll let you go back to the warmth at the stand. And, well, as an Adelaide person, I won't wish you good luck, but let's hope it's a great second half.
Well, so far, so good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you, boys.
Thanks, Kim, and Kim's hand's going a little bit blue down there. It must be pretty cold. The second half action coming up shortly. Can the Adelaide Crows get in the match? We'll find out soon. As we go to the break, some young fellas enjoying the cold here at Canberra. Perhaps they're the stars of the future. We find out Fridays on Fox Footy on Oz Kicking Around.
It's something a cop should never do. Fall for an informant.
At least we're both in the same industry.
But one case
He's going to kill him.
will put their secret affair to the test.
He's my
We
informant.
pay for it, and he goes behind our back.
Unbelievable.
Because the man she loves
You lied to me.
could be working for both sides of the law.
We got something on the backpack wire. That's still a cream. Doesn't get much lower than that.
And just when things couldn't get more complicated,
Will you marry me?
they do. Stingers, Tuesday on 9.
Wouldn't it be nice if the world was cat-free? You could be a soccer superstar. The referee would blow his chocolate whistle. A shot of goal would even break the bar. And if you went and scored the winner, you'd win the cup and eat it for your dinner. Wouldn't it be nice? Well done, son. Fantastic win. Great win. Well done, let's go, come on.
Many of the things that we do at home, at work or on the land can pollute our waterways. You may not think that your little bit hurts, but it all adds up. Don't be a drip.
Water care, it's in your hands.
The Adelaide Fish Market's owned and run by Safcol for over 50 years. Its reputation for quality is legendary. Let's talk tuna. Nearly all canned tuna in your supermarket contains yellowfin or the common skipjack, whereas Safcol can only northern bluefin, the most prized and delicious tasting tuna. It's light in colour and tight in texture. And Safcol use only fresh tuna, not frozen like these others. Now ask yourself, which one really is the best? Would you like to try a Campino?
It's sweet. Thank you. Unbelievable. Tastes like strawberries and cream. Like ice cream. Really creamy.
Campino, the real taste of strawberries and cream in a sweet.
I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't tasted it.
Red Shield appeal, so the salvos can help shield those in need. Thank God for the salvos.
Wednesday, a premiere special behind the scenes of Australian Survivor. All the inside gossip on the secret scheming, the relationships, and the dummy spits.
I'm walking tonight out of the game.
Surviving Survivor, 9:30 Wednesday on 9.
Haunted in a coma, John Doe is tortured by his past.
To hurt people is easy.
Awakened as Stephen Seagal, he's out to cause nightmares.
How's the action, boys? Mind if I play?
Hard to Kill, 9:30 Saturday on 9.
We've mentioned how cold it is here at Canberra, and a pretty ominous-looking cloud overhanging here at Manuka Oval, so perhaps some wet weather to come, as Mark Rasciuto is having a chat to his players. 6 goals to 4 that second quarter, favouring the Kangaroos. Margin went from 9 points to 21. They've got a guard of honour from all the Oz Kick kids there. They're taking their time getting back out on the ground, the Kangaroos. Anthony Stevens, who has been leading from the front with 15 possessions. He has been very, very good. Big Spider Burton. You can just see there just how tall Spider Burton is, standing up against some of his lesser-sized midfielders. And it's a great moment for the young kids when they get to slap some of the players, and then they don't get a lot of high fives back, Russell.
No, that's right. Look, it is a great time for those young boys and girls out there playing in Oz Kick to actually see league players come out, and the calibre of Archer, Stevens, those type of players. It's just a great time for the kids.
What about the Adelaide Crows in this second half? They're only down by 21 points. It's not a big margin when you've got some terrific players like McLeod and Goodwin in the middle. What will they do? How will they get back in front?
Well, first thing, a few we've got to start getting a bit more of the footy, Matthew, and that'll be of utmost importance to Gary and his match committee. But they're a very fine side, and I'm sure you'll see right from the first bounce here, they know what's up the stakes. They know that they could be equal top after tonight if they win. So they're not going to let it slip through their fingers.
Let's find out how he's enjoying the cold. Rod Jamieson.
Oh, look, it is bitterly cold down here and getting colder by the minute. From North Melbourne's point of view, or Kangaroos' point of view, Daniel Harris is probably the only concern. He took a heavy knock. Also, Lee Colbert in that first quarter, but they're okay. From Adelaide's point of view, Ryan Fitzgerald, there's no confirmed reports as to how serious that knee is, but they are a little concerned. Also, Massey and John Cock, similar, that took some heavy knocks, but other than that, both sides are okay in terms of injury. And again, Dennis Pagan extremely happy with the way the Kangaroos have come out after being questioned during the week.
Thanks, Rod, who wouldn't look out of place on a Hugo Boss catwalk this afternoon. Down on the boundary, having a good afternoon. We'll keep an eye on some of those injuries as they go along. Kim Dillon has returned from down on the boundary. How are you, Kim?
I can tell you, it is cold down there. I don't want to harp on the point, but it is incredibly cold. And, well, the good doctor put it better than me. He said it's bloody cold. Yeah, it's certainly dropped a couple of degrees, but there's still a bit of heat remaining in this game, no doubt about that. And we can see Mark Rasciuto, looks like he has gone to into the centre square now. No, is he drifting out again? Lost him.
No, he's gone down forward again.
He has.
He's starting forward in the centre square for Adelaide. They have Bickley, Stendline and Goodwin. So almost the usual suspects. McLeod hovering on the wing. Second half action. Adelaide trail by 21 points. Burton with the first tap. Robbins roves it beautifully, pushing the ball forward. Rocker slaps it out to Harvey, who has to be quick, not quick enough. Adelaide with the numbers, charging through Bickley. Edwards. Underneath it all is Goodwin. And it'll be a ball up right on the forward 50 for the Kangaroos.
That was intelligent play by Big Sav. He knew he was really hot. He was under the pump. He couldn't take possession of the ball, so he just pushed it out to young Harvey. And unfortunately, Harvey couldn't get his foot to the footy.
Umpire Mitchell bounces. Favours Hart. Burton. Not locked to kick to, so just kicks to the space to the wing. Johncock has superior pace on Baird. Round the body. And Colbert, in the end, decided he couldn't mark it. Tried to find the boundary, didn't. John Cock needs to get it over the top to Perry. Back towards John Cock, spinning. Caught, gone, holding the ball. Time on. I thought he was almost free there, but it was a good tackle in the end. It just wouldn't let him go. Here's the replay, Russell.
I tell you, 2 or 3 goes. I mean, he's a talented young player, and he's got lots and lots of skills.
has the nickname of Stiffy Johncock, and he's a real favourite at the club. Underneath a Goodwin, one grab, tried for the second, but he's picked up a free kick. No advantage will be paid. Doughty tried to run off with the football. Well, we say it every week, but the first goal after half-time is crucial. 21 points is the margin. Simon Goodwin, the dual All-Australian, 2000 best and fairest winner, has the ball on the wing here at Manuka Oval in front of the Sir Donald Bradman stand. Puts it up to 50, but a good strong mark taken by Adam Simpson. One of the veterans and one of the real performers of this Kangaroo side. Puts the ball out wide with the left foot to the run of McCartney. He's had a pretty good game. The former Collingwood and Adelaide Crows player. His kick was a wobbly one. Anthony Stevens has had a ripping game. Possession number 16, and he's found Clayton inside 50. And Clayton looking to get on with it pretty quickly. And it's not a good kick. Mark Stevens back there, and the ball forced over a line. Funny one, that one, Russell. He is in two minds.
Well, all anticipating that he was going to go back, and as you mentioned, Kim, he was in two minds, and look, he would have been far better back going back and having a set shot at it.
Stevens accepts it short. And goes towards Johnson. It's a poor kick. They're giving it up. Harvey, the danger man, has three. Does it hook back for him? No. It just hung out.
Geez, that was a real let-off there. I mean, that was the most undisciplined kick to a short like that. But unfortunately for the Roos, Harvey would normally kick that.
He knows he should have kicked that. Hands on head there. He swallows them up.
And that would have made it quite uncomfortable for the Crows.
A let-off for Stevens. Hart. 2 to kick to. Edwards. They work it out to the wing. Lovely kick from Edwards. Finds Doughty. And here's a loose man. He can go, Goodwin. Very easy for the Crows. A little chip over the top to the run of Rashudo. Archer right with him. And does well for the punch. 200 games to Mark Rashudo. And it wasn't so long ago that Glenn Archer, just 7 games ago, played his 200.
Look, they do everything honestly, don't they? Rashudo was under the pump when he went to the footy, and he knew that Archer was right on his backside. 2 great players.
Yeah, one of the best defenders in the business, Glenn Archer. The ball thrown back into play. Burton got it down, but it's taken by McLeod. Rozzy leg, play on the call. Half the crowd wanted holding the ball. Great tackle on Makepeace there. That was by Stengline. And the boundary umpire will have to do it all over again. 69 plays 46, Russell.
Robbins is running with Bickley, and Makepeace has got that unfortunate job with running with McLeod.
Marsh to do the ruck work. Got up high, won the tap. Punching it forward was McCartney. The ball again goes out towards Goodwin. Puts it towards the hot spot. Back there is Marsh, and didn't take the mark. Should have. Good defensive play, and picking up the loose ball is Anthony Stevens. Well, he'd be close to best on ground. He's had 17 possessions, and there's going to be a free kick down the ground for a push in the back. Or will it go back?
Quite amazing, Kim, because he had no one to kick to, so he was kicking for the boundary.
And there we see it again, and there was the push and a little bit of frustration there from Rashudo. So the 2 captains, the free kick will be taken by David King. Kicks it long. Players set themselves. Massey, the destroyer, from behind. The ball comes down to Baird. Dispossessed on the tackle by Bassett. Getting a bit slippery out there as well. And the ball will be thrown in right in front of our commentary position. 16.5 minutes remaining of this third term. 69 opposed to 46.
Stevens close to best on ground, and he's running with Goodwin. And Goodwin hasn't had that much of an impact on the game as up to date.
Here's Stevens once again. Simpson, Grant. The midfield strength of the Kangaroos combined. Grant inside 50, hooks across to the hot spot. Falls over the back. Chance there for Big Porter, isn't he? He's got the goal.
This guy's in love with you. The limited edition Statesman International. Only the best.
Who looks at you the way I do?
The Kangaroos with a more than handy 29-point advantage, and they're taking control in the centre. It will be Marsh opposed to Burton. Kane Johnson is in there, Bickley there as well. Burton won the tap, came down to ground level. Robbins with a quick handball, more in hope than anything else. Taken again by Doughty. He's had a lot of the football. Good one up high from behind. Teague got tackled. High play on the call. Burton came through solidly. Thought a free kick may have been given. There will be one now. An advantage has been paid as Baird puts in a lovely pass to find Severio Rocker. The big fella's kicked two. He's kicked 580 career goals. This would be one of his best. He unloads from 65. Distance not a problem. That is a mammoth kick. That really is.
It is a mammoth kick, but you get the feeling that he actually over-kicked the footy. But look, what about Teague's courage back there? Dennis Pager said they were going to have a go, and Teague's courage before was absolutely first class.
Free kick we can see there on Grant was just after that performance from Teague. He's come up a little bit sore, Grant. So we have an Adelaide free kick with the action at the moment. It's Mark Stevens. Kangaroos have kicked the last 6 goals. Massey. Quickly switching. Kick needs to carry, it doesn't. Morrell, but here's McLeod. Is he the best in the AFL at ground level? Probably. Should get around Porter. Out in front of Marsh. Marsh against Burton. The tall timber, and he just pops it over the top to Kane Johnson. Lee Harding won't be on the ground for much longer. Long, punch came from McCartney. Crows need a crummer. Robbins, under pressure. Bickley, uncompromising football. Archer, over the top, the Birdman, rides into the ground, but in the end it was a very good mark to Shannon Grant in front.
And wouldn't be surprised if the runner goes out because Burton did not attempt the spoil. Grant puts it up along the wing. Digby Burrell got up high. Stingline is there, crashing his way through. Simpson over towards Robbins. Weaves a little bit of magic. Nice play. Now the ball comes out to Harding. He was down moments ago. He looks okay now. They're inside 50 again. Adelaide have the numbers. Back there, Tyson Edwards. Harvey gets the handball out. It goes in the direction of Smart. A big looping handball over the top to Stevens. He casually passes it on to Goodwin. Not sure which way to go. Draws the player. Now goes back to Kane Johnson. Gee, they're making hard work of it. Goodwin now providing a bit of run. Still not sure where to go. They've got nothing to kick to up half forward. Now they go back, conceding some ground to Marsh, who measures the kick and puts it out towards Johncock. King, well, we've got youth opposed to experience, and the experience wins out as the ball is paddled over the boundary line.
The pressure that the Roos are putting on the Crows at the moment, it's immense. Then Goodwin, one of the best users of the footy, had nowhere to go, so he's running around circles and unfortunately had to go wide. But the Roos are putting on an enormous amount of pressure.
Here's Lee Harding. We saw him come off, and there's the clash with Mark Stevens that resulted in that cut to the head. And he'll get some attention on that. He bounced around for a while before he came off. Almost found himself in a goal-kicking situation. Burton and Marsh, under 14 minutes remaining, 30-point margin. Adelaide need to score, need to get some goals happening. Robbins. Goodwin on the up, Edwards. Straightening up now and going back and taking a very strong mark, Shane Clayton. To the wing, boundary side. Rocker, the flyer, was never going to get it. Goodwin went without it. Teague, impressive young player. Pickett, quickly up. Player running for him, but that's a high ball. Going to be very tough to mark. Great mark from the Birdman in Burton. You're back in one-on-one just about any time. Plays on quickly, switches to Bassett.
And Bassett now has the luxury of a bounce and has plenty of time to find a teammate. That's if he can see one. Decides to kick it out wide, looking for Massey. They've been breaking down across half forward today, the Crows. Massey has it, kicks around his body. Marsh underneath it and takes a strong mark. Goes to play on, gets around the big fella in Burton, measures the kick, 2 against 1. Rashudo was underneath it, it wasn't a good kick. Simpson now picks it up, good vision to see Colbert, and Colbert can play on quickly, he does, looking for Shannon Grant, the ball in that direction. Burton with that great leap forces the ball over the boundary line. Well, the margin is 30 points, Russell, and the Adelaide Crows are really struggling at the moment. They have no fluency through the midfield whatsoever, and they are breaking down across half forward.
No fluency and breaking down the half forward is causing enormous problems for them. But they're a very good side. We'll see what happens in the next 10 minutes.
Well, Stevens from the clearance again. It's been excellent. Massey, got to beat 2. Wants to hold it in. Be careful. Kangaroos trying to get it out. Edwards does so now. Crows breaking. Hart. Running through the middle. Direct, long footy. Great kick. Rashudo. That pace couldn't get it. It falls to Scott Welsh. He hasn't missed these. They need this. And he drills it for his 4th.
A long 60-metre bomb. Big pack balls in the goal square. Oh, what a grab! What an absolute screamer! Oh, that's got to be grab of the year.
Golden draft, thanks.
He couldn't believe he got straight through to me. He thought he'd get a computer.
If you'd rather speak to a real person, call Amy on 13 22 44.
Lee Harding just coming back on. He's been stitched up. One that's actually slipped under our guards, Stuart Cochrane for the Kangaroos, has been sitting on the bench. He's got a tracksuit on. It doesn't look like he'll take any further part in the game.
Back centre field, and it's the Kangaroos by 24 points. Kane Johnson got it over towards Stengline. Dispossessed. Good pressure by Harvey. Allowed Byron Pickett to get the ball out wide to Clayton, who measures the pass. Oh, he made it tough for Big Severio. Now going through there is Digby Morrell. Not a bad mover, Digby Morrell. That kick wasn't a good effort, though. Nigel Smart with the football. Adelaide looking to set up a forward movement again as Smart kicks to the outer side. Great vision to find Tyson Edwards. Loves to run with the football. Has 2 bounces. Make that 3. Now he's looking for some movement up forward. Rashudo one way, then the other. And eventually Bassett, who's everywhere. They've got him up forward now after a sensational first half in defence. Too far out to score. Puts it to the head of the square. Up high there was Marsh. No one at the back of the pack. And the ball rolls over the line for a minor score. So the advantage, 23 points to the Kangaroos.
As you can see, they're a very disciplined side. Crows, I mean, always hitting for that hot spot. And it's the second time they moved the ball up the ground very quickly. Minimal touches and a score resulted. Whereas before, they've just been mucking around for ball short, chipping and so forth. Direct is the best.
So Dr. Alan Aylett and Jeff Walsh looking on. Concerned about the last couple of minutes, but not too concerned with the margin. And certainly Anthony Stevens, what a game he's playing. Clayton.
20 possessions, Matthew, for Anthony Stevens.
Centre wing Clayton towards centre for Digby Morrell to target. Perry got in front. Crummer's needed. Harding's back on the ground. And, well, perhaps a little bit fortunate there, Lee Harding, against Nigel Smart. Man on the mark will be 60 metres out from goal, and the man on the mark for Severio will be less than that, and that's within range.
Well, as long as he doesn't rush it. The one he kicked before, he kicked it 65, 70 metres. He did rush it. Off 2 or 3 steps, went bang. But now he's sizing it up. He's gone back to the centre. He's going to have to kick from 65, 70 metres to kick this.
Probably about 65.
65.
These sort of goals, though, if they come off by Severio or his brother Anthony, they really do lift the team. A long drop punt needed. A big roost. It's just to the left. He just about made it. One behind. The long kick. Doesn't matter whether it's a drop punt or it's a torpedo punt. One of the great things in AFL football, as are people that sit in the wet. There's a little bit of rain here at Canberra at the minute. Let's hope it doesn't snow.
And as are hot dogs on days like today. And that little fella was thoroughly enjoying that one. The short pass came out to Simon Goodwin. 77 plays 53 here at Manuka Oval. The pass in turn to Stengline, recruited from Subiaco. Been a very consistent performer over the last few years for Adelaide. But gee, they're manning up well, the Kangaroos. And now Stengline forced a handball and put Tyson Edwards in a spot of bother. In turn, the handball goes back towards Goodwin. Perry draws the player. Stengline gets onto it again. Still, they're working hard. Now the long kick, and from behind, Massey takes the mark. Now there's 2 players in the goal square. Rashudo is there. The ball is kicked wide. It's not a good kick. It was set up for Digby Morrell, who bumps it away. Edwards takes it. Oh, he likes to hold on to the ball. That's holding the ball. And that's happened a lot in recent weeks. He was caught a couple of times at Colonial against Essendon.
It's just indicative of how North Melbourne are playing, because they are, there's not much space out to move out there, and they're just chasing everyone, hunting everyone down in packs. and that was a great tackle.
And that was Benny Robbins, the #1 tackler for the Kangaroos this year. So he's been a handy recruit. Kicks long. Underneath it there was Perry. Ball goes towards the back of the pack. Bickley tries to crash his way through. Umpire blows the whistle, and we'll have a bounce with just over 8 minutes remaining in this third term. And it's going to be a tough old final quarter, but you'd like to be on the Kangaroos at the moment. They're doing it well, and they're playing with great commitment, and the rain is falling here at Manuka.
Burton and Marsh, there's Stevens, out the back door. Got a call from Harvey, Makepeace, and they had to play in the right spot. A little bit fortunate, it was Teague. He's got to move it on quickly. Now goes Pickett the lead, suits Adelaide. 2 there, Burton. This ball came from Bickley. Burton switches it now on the rubber band. Here's Johnson. Gets in board, he's got Dowdy long, he spots him. The carrier's there. Dowdy, inside 50. Kim, what's the distance?
Well, he's been good with goals this year. He's kicked 8, and look, I think, yeah, he could make the distance here. I'm just not sure about that breeze down there at ground level. We'll get Rod Jamieson to update us there again shortly, but Kane Johnson certainly got plenty of distance with that kick, and Dowdy's been pretty good this season.
8 goals won this season, so accuracy hasn't been a problem. Just needs the distance. Easy as that.
One of the best things I did here while I've been here at ADFA was definitely the adventure training. From the bottom, it doesn't look that far. You go at the top, you look out, it's like, ah. Then you go to take the first step, your legs shaking as anything, you step out into the ledge, then you just get going, and it's just such a good feeling. Just, yes, I love this. Learning how to lead and get confidence, this place is it. It's great.
Manuka, so Adelaide trying to claw their way back into the game. 59 plays 77, and it is teeming down here. If it's not cold enough, it's also wet. Adam Simpson grabs it, drives it in long. That's a huge kick. Underneath it, Benny Robbins. Bickley there shows a good turn of speed. The boundary line should win out, and Massey picked it up, but it was just over the line. So we'll have a throw in that right forward pocket, and the advantage, Russell, are getting it out of the centre quickly.
Oh, it is. First kick out of the centre puts enormous pressure on the back line. But getting back to Bickley, what about his turn of pace then? He was behind Robbins and got in front of him. Just unbelievable for a bloke who's played so much footy.
And Benny Robbins certainly not slow. Doing the ruck work, Perry. Severio Rocker there as well. Clever play by Digby Morrell as he tried to tap it back. Shannon Grant there. Burton getting a little bit of the football in this third term. The kick's a wobbly one, and it goes out of bounds on that outer side. And the Birdman, well, he's had 8 possessions now, and he started on the bench. Didn't come on till late in that second term.
Well,
Burton up against Marsh. 413 centimetres of prime footballer there. Marsh lays it off beautifully. Doughty. Edwards. Crow's running better now. Bassett. Did he have possession? No. Free kick. Advantage should be paid. And it's with McLeod. Inboard. Goodwin. Can he straighten up and kick another one for the Crows? Goodwin has just pushed it off to the left. Bitterly disappointed. And so will Gary Ayres, his coach. Speaking of coaches, there'll be 2 coaches on the couch on Monday night. One of them is Robert Walls, a former premiership coach. And of course, the special guest, Lee Matthews, the Brisbane Lions premiership coach, to discuss all the issues in football.
David King to bring the ball back into play. Nice looking kick, and a very accurate one to find Makepeace. Tried to get around Johncock, thought twice about it, put the handle over the top to Clayton. He's been good this afternoon, but Adelaide have the numbers, and Mark Stevens, who, as we mentioned, playing at centre-half pack, takes a good chest mark. Kicks it looking for Perry. Morrell went back into the traffic. Umpire said that was okay. The ball out of play on the right half-forward flank. Just under 6 minutes remaining. The rain continuing to fall here at Manuka Oval. Ian Perry looking after Digby Morrell. Ben Marsh to do the ruck work. Porter front position. Got first hands on it. It comes down towards Kane Johnson. Good kick around his body. Adelaide back inside 50. Bassett, a good chest mark. Opposed to Colbert. Having a big day out as the Hound Dog. He doesn't mind sneaking down to kick a goal every now and again. Has kicked 7 career goals. He wouldn't like to have too much money on this being his 8th.
Oh, come on, Kim. Be confident. He loves kicking in sun showers.
Yeah, no, tough angle from there. Nathan Bassett lines up. He'll kick from about 45. He is a left footer, and he started it to the right, but it doesn't come back. The margin now 61, plays 77, with just on 5 minutes remaining.
They've got it back from 30 points, though, haven't they? 30 back to 16.
It gives them a real opportunity going into the three-quarter time.
Harvey gets it short. Brown bathed in sunshine. McCartney got it off to King. Pack forms. Pick it over the back. Went to ground. That handball is searching for Morrell. He has a runner in Harding. He is clear. Very clear. Runs into the open goal and kicks it. One.
Hi, home improvers. Wattle ceiling white, 4 litres for $38.50. Malay glazed pots from only $5.95.
Great value.
6-metre PVC pipe to clear at $12.45. Do it yourself with Everdrain pits and channels.
Heaps of hardware.
2 40-litre capacity wheelie bins, $59.95. Treated pine pickets from just $1.40 each.
Right price. Expert advice. See Strathclyde.
22 points the margin after that goal to Lee Harding, 21-year-old, and looks pretty good. And there's a rainbow. Will there be a pot of gold at the end of it for the Kangaroos? They are in desperate need of a win after 2 beltings in recent weeks, and they've got a handy advantage at the moment considering the rain falling here at Manuka Oval. 12-11 opposed to 9-7. In the centre, Anthony Stevens. He's been a gun from the start. Clark back in doing the ruck work. Gets it straight down to McLeod. That's his advantage, Matthew Clark. He's a very good tap ruckman. The loose ball picked up by Bassett. Throws it onto the left boot. They need a grab in the square. Welsh is back there. McCartney and Archer have been very good, and they forced the ball over the boundary line. And Glenn Archer just has a chat to himself. In fact, chastises himself. He thought he could have taken possession there, but he's done a pretty good job on Mark Rasciuto. He's managed just the 1 goal this afternoon.
And then you can see, you may be watching and thinking, there's sunshine out there. It can't be raining, but it is.
No snow, though, as we've mentioned, but not far from it. Wells picked it up beautifully. He's a clever player around his body. McCartney stood his ground. Tyson Edwards trying to sock it off the ground and forced over and rushed through for a behind. 62 plays 83. The margin back to 21 points.
Once again, we see the ball sent into the hot spot, Matthew. Very disciplined.
Spider doing some stretching. 21 points. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. King with some depth. Beautiful kick to Colbert on the point of the square. Colbert slows it down. Thinks about the switch. Probably should, actually. But decides to go down the line to make peace. Doughty drops back into the hole for him. Does well. Blocks it. Then a short little pass. McLeod. Beautiful kick, finds Stenglein. Stenglein. High ball. Pack to form. Here they come, Welsh, with a punch came from McCartney. Stevens in the right spot. Hooks it around. Can he get enough purchase on it? The distance is very good. Mark Stevens has kicked the goal.
Look what we've done to the place, Ma.
Look how we've doubled the space.
Good on you, son. We tried to do it ourselves.
But we needed some help. Done well.
And we got it all in mitre 10. Ben? Look what we've done to our place.
Gee, I really thought. Not that fucking door.
Reminds me, you've still got my plane, Jane.
Look what we've done to our place.
Mark Stevens has kicked his first goal, started at centre-half forward, went to centre-half back, and now he's back up forward. Clark with another tap, put it out for the run of a number of players, including McLeod, but that was to no avail. Going through strongly there was Makepeace. Now the ball put forward. Teague's been good all afternoon, but he had a fumble there. Johncock in there, going through is King. Johncock again left it. King over the top of it. Clever little toe poke there by McLeod, but it went to the opposition. Adelaide had the numbers. In fact, Stevens has gone back to centre-half back again, so he just drifted down to kick that goal. Bickley has the football and good vision and disposal to find Kane Johnson. Over towards Perry, has a loose player all by himself in Goodwin. who's been pretty inaccurate today. He's managed 2 points and put one out of bounds on the full. This time, once again, he puts it to the head of the square. Colbert at the back of the pack. No Adelaide Crows. Clayton paddles it forward to the boundary line. And the crowd wanting a free kick. So too the Adelaide players. But the field umpire says throw it in.
What do you think, Russell?
Mate, the field umpire showed complete common sense then. That's the only thing he could have done.
You don't think there was a dash of intent there, Russell?
No, not at all.
Oh, Clark, quick snapshot. And it's through for a point. Would have been a little tough, but I think he achieved what he was after.
I mean, the only other thing he could have done was to hit it through for a point. It's going to be a very close game, so you don't want to concede any ground whatsoever.
14 points now. Crows pushing just before three-quarter time. They'd dearly love another one. King. And just a little bit lucky there, Stephen. It was just slipping a bit, making an uncontested mark. Teague running hard for the Roos. Long kick. Over the top came Big Sav. No mark. Play on. Smart wrapped up by Harding. And we have a stalemate with just under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Isn't it amazing when both sides move the ball freely and kick long, that goals and scores ultimately result? Just when they overuse and over-finesse with the ball, that they cause all sorts of problems for each other.
Burton just punches it. Likewise, Goodwin. Makepeace. Did well, actually, at ground level there. Got it forward. Suited Bickley. It fell over the back towards Pickett. Bickley got back first. He's going to need some help. He gets it in Perry. Caught high. Good decision. Big Ian Perry breaks quickly to the wing. The reason being, there's a player out there on his own. That's Tyson Edwards. He's had plenty of the ball in this third quarter. It's been lively. They stay up that side of the ground once again. Bassett, been everywhere. Speaking of everywhere, what about Stevens? And only 2 Crows to kick to. One of them's Nigel Smart.
That was possession number 23 for Anthony Stevens. Smart now puts it out to Simon Goodwin. That's his 22nd disposal. Big leap from behind. Ball comes down the ground. That was Stengline. Gets in after it again. Loose ball at the back of the pack. Colbert drags it back under. This could be lethal. Oh, given the benefit of the doubt.
The other thing that the Crows do very well is that inside that 50, they do try and keep the ball alive as much as possible. And if you keep it alive, keeps the backmen on their toes.
And Matthew Clark has some blood coming from behind his right ear. The umpire yet to spot it. So he'll get to contest this one, and he wins the tap. Put it out wide. Anthony Stevens nearly took it. Couldn't do so. McLeod can. Will he have a shot? He goes back onto the left, and he was accurate, but did not have the distance. And the mark has been taken by Clayton. Been a good performer today, Clayton. He's picked up 15 possessions. This time it's a short pass to Glenn Archer. Not a lot of time left in this third quarter. Adelaide trailing 69 to 83. Their margin is 14 points. As the siren sounds, and that's the way it will remain, and Matthew Clark will be able to be attended to.
Well, 3 goals, 5 to the Adelaide Crows in that quarter. The Kangaroos managed 2 goals, 4. They're pushing the Crows. Can they get all the way?
Tonight at 6, a dream to row the Indian Ocean in tatters. 2 men plucked to safety off the West Australian coast. And in Melbourne, hundreds turn out to greet the Dalai Lama at the start of his 9-day tour.
State Theatre presents The Great Man by the wickedly funny David Williamson. A razor-sharp comedy in true Williamson style, The Great Man takes a timely swipe at our 2 major political parties. The Great Man at the Dunstan Playhouse, book at Bass.
Members get more out of statewide super.
I chose statewide because I don't want my super up in the air. I wanted extra special performance. Managed by people who know what's going on in the world. I had a choice of fund options and chose the ones just right for me. I like my super, like my customers like my pizzas. Speciale.
Statewide Superannuation Trust. your key to super you can trust.
Don't miss this exclusive wall-span offer. 2 melamine freestyle wardrobes, just $790. That's 2 wardrobes with 2 doors, top shelf and hanging rail. Only $790 at Wallspan now. Offer ends June 30. Wallspan, imaginative wardrobes at real life prices.
If it's good enough for you to wear, it's good enough for Goodwill to sell. Goodwill needs good clothing right now.
My job is to protect the public.
Inside maximum security.
We have to manage the toughest criminals that Australia's ever seen.
We take you where no camera has ever been.
They're very difficult to manage, and we'll deal with them accordingly.
Plus, boom or bust.
We've had huge capital growth.
Winning on Adelaide's property market.
That's lovely and large, isn't it?
Where to find the best deals and what your money will buy.
There's probably a property out there for everyone.
Nissan presents a Current Affair Monday.
8:30 tonight, the chase is on.
We've got a fugitive.
Academy Award winner Tommy Lee Jones, Wesley Snipes, Robert Downey Jr. The all-action blockbuster.
You're gonna have to shoot me.
U.S. Marshals, 8:30 tonight on 9.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by Carlton Draft, Amy and the Navy, Army and Air Force.
Yeah, some wonderful Fox Footy camera work there, just picking up the unusual conditions that these players are playing in. Not hard to score goals, just the sun showers we're seeing at Manuka Oval this afternoon, as we saw Lee Harding kick a goal there. Gary Ayres, he knows his team is right in this game, doesn't he?
Well, oh, very much, Matthew, and it's an important game as well. Like, as you mentioned earlier at the start of the game, they're playing for second position. It's a very winnable game, and it's against a side that's been struggling, but they're a side that are playing with a lot of determination.
Scott Welsh has been very good for them. 4 goals up forward. Perhaps he's the man in this last quarter with a couple of goals, Russell, that can turn this game.
Well, he is a noted goal kicker, and he just knows where they are. He's kicked 4 today, and you would like to think that maybe in the last quarter he will still have a big impact on this particular game.
He's an interesting player because he's not a big man. He's just a clever footballer and reads the play well.
Yeah, it's very clever there. Just turned, for the benefit of the ball going over the back, just turned McCartney inside out and finished off with his 4th, and a little bit of a nudge, wink. Now there are 2 other games now being played around the country. The second Sunday afternoon game has started. We're going to show you the 3-quarter time score from the Western Bulldogs in Sydney at the SCG and the quarter time score from Essendon and St Kilda at Colonial. If you are going to take some replays, it's your chance to look away now. Catch the replays of those games throughout the week. And it's a 14-point margin as we prepare for the last quarter action. Kangaroos have been in control for most of the game. There was that period in the second quarter Adelaide got on top.
Yeah, they've certainly been in control on the scoreboard.
On the scoreboard,
and in the game as well. But amazingly, Adelaide's had a lot more of the football. They've had something like 39 more possessions.
So can the Crows come back, or will the Kangaroos hold on for their 4th win out of 5 playing in Canberra? Clark misses it. Not the second time, though. Numbers here for the Kangaroos, though. Stevens caught. Good pressure. Bassett. And he gets the free kick, holding the ball. Bassett excellent early in defence, and now proving a real bonus up forward for them. Player on the lead, Rashudo. Just couldn't quite get it. Clark doing the roving and kicking the goal. Great start for the Crows. Well, we've seen Porter and Morrell for the Kangaroos at one end and Clark at the other. They're turning this game inside out.
It's a great... Mate, the little crummers should be kicking those goals. But once again, we'll get back to that man playing his 200th game. Rashudo was the one who actually made the contest. Spillage, no little crummers except the big fella there, Clark, and kicking the goal. Rashudo's very important down there in that position.
Well, Matthew Clark, like a rover then, he's only kicked 25 career goals in 163 games. He kicked one last week after taking a hanger against the Dockers. And he actually followed down beautifully there and kicked one on the run. And he was pretty pumped, and so are the Adelaide supporters here at Manuka Oval. The margin back to 8 points. Can the Kangaroos hold on? Clark gets up high again. The ball went down to Harvey. Couldn't get it out of the pack. Bowed in there. Also Byron Pickett. But the umpire blows the whistle and will bounce again. Umpires officiating today. Number 4, Chris Mitchell. Number 7, Hayden Kennedy. Plenty of experience there. And number 27, Michael Avon. Clark again. The tap, Stevens in there. He has been sensational today. Goodwin gets another possession. That was number 23 for him, Bassett. Fisted away, though, by Colbert. Now the ball comes out for the Kangaroos. Underneath that, Harding. Adelaide had the numbers. Picked up by Bickley. Good peripheral vision to put it out wide to Edwards. Has a little bit of space. Has to get around Harris. Good to see him back onto the track after that high tackle. The ball goes out to Stenglide. And in turn, Matthew Bode. Now called to play on, launches into it. The left footer puts it inside 50. Everyone let it go. The umpire's seen a free kick. Advantage will be paid, and Glenn Archer storms out of defence.
Gets it long, looking for a target up forward, but there were only shorts there. Well, I don't mean football shorts, I mean players of not relatively big height.
That wasn't a good kick by Archer. I mean, Hart v. Harvey's is not a good matchup at this stage.
The other player there was Harris, so no marking targets for the Kangaroos. Hunt bangs it back forward. Plenty there. Burton the spoil at ground level. Goodwin. Burton, here come the Crows once again. Burton inside 50. Rashudo's got Archer out of position. Almost took it. Simpson does well. Very good in close is Adam Simpson. No one to kick to, though. Burton pleading for it to stay in.
Just spreading his wings there, Matthew.
Lovely call. And Clark, they kept it in somehow, the Crows. But unfortunately, the kick from Matthew Clark just suited Colbert. And a bit of panic from Lee Colbert there. He just kicked it straight out in the full. And that's rare for Lee Colbert to panic like that. He's got to go again. Oh, good mark, Rashudo. It was coming, wasn't it? He was due.
He's been presenting himself all day. The kicks have either been coming in too high, Russell, or he's been running underneath them. And I think Matthew called that one spot on.
He's just presented himself all afternoon. And once again, the Crows are very disciplined and bang to that hot spot. And once again, it looks as though it's going to be a goal resulting in a discipline act on the ground.
Mark Rashudo hasn't been the goal kicker, but has been very dangerous. He only got one goal in the first quarter, but this, for their 5th goal in a row, to bring them within 2 points with plenty of time remaining. The skipper in his 200th game. And he drives it home.
Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
It's their 20th wedding anniversary, so make sure you wear something decent. Wear something, wear something, wear something, wear something.
Wear something decent. Peter Shearer Menswear, Rundle Mall.
Amazingly, only 2 points in it after the Kangaroos were leading by up to 5 goals during that third term. Goodwin couldn't take it, and the tempo's just lifted a little bit here at Manuka Oval. 17 minutes remaining in the final term. And it was the Kangaroos by 9 points at quarter time. They extended it to 21 points at half time. And as I mentioned, it got out to about 30 during that third term, but at three-quarter time it was 14 points. Now it is just 2 points as Bode gets it forward. Bass has been a big factor in this game. The ball stumped forward out towards Tyson Edwards. Robbins doing a good job. Was he pushed in the back? Not according to the umpire. McCartney's been good in his 100th game for the Kangaroos. Good courage there by McLeod. Beautifully read, though, by Makepeace. And a sensational handball out to Byron Pickett. Trying to get away from Benny Hart. Turned him inside out, did Byron. Now puts it inside 50 and Harvey. Oh, I tell you what, Bickley can't believe it. He was wrong-footed as well, and that was great movement by the Kangaroos.
That was absolutely tremendous play. And how often do you see Benny Hart get turned inside at explosive pace? Knew exactly what was happening up the ground and bang, nice and long to Harvey. And he is a noted goal kicker. And but getting back to the initial start, Makepeace's play, that was absolutely brilliant play.
He was very good in the midfield. This man has kicked 3-1 for the afternoon after starting on the bench. He's a dead-eye Dick, and he put that one through. That's his fourth, and the margin back out to 14.
Is back. Game over.
Harris getting a message from the match committee. Lang has come on for him, and there we see just a couple of leans from Colbert and Bassett. Much needed goal for the Kangaroos. A little bit of breathing space, but still just under, well, just 15.5 minutes remaining, so plenty of football left in this game. Teague one-on-one with Goodwin. Goodwin's third quarter was excellent. Teague, Stevens, a little bit untidy. King, look away handball, they've lost it. So a couple of their senior players combining there. That's a wonderful handball by McLeod. He knew where that was going. Here's Clark, through traffic, caught, holding the ball. They've been consistent on that today, the umpiring. Well, yeah, they've given him a little bit of an opportunity, but there you go. The tackle was good, wrapping up his right arm, so he couldn't give it off. And rewarded for the tackle, David King. Kicks to a contest. He wants Burton. He wants a bit of height. Should have marked that Spider. Play on. It falls to Harding. He goes inside 50. Would have been a magnificent quick goal from Harding, but it's not to be. It's just to behind. Margin 9.
Missed it. I mean, he made a crucial error there. Too crucial. He missed the actual goal, and he had Harvey running inside, who could have just gone right up and gone bang. Unfortunate miss for the Roos.
Ben Hart to bring the ball back into play. The Kangaroos 13-12, Adelaide 12-9. And the margin just 9 points, as Matthew Campbell mentioned. Hart elects to kick to the outer side of this very picturesque Monica Oval. Clark was up high. Ball came to ground level. Free kick's been given. Advantage paid. Clayton puts it inside 50. Good use of the body by Harvey to get rid of Hart. Couldn't get the football, though. Now the handball goes out to Bickley. Spider Burton is there. So too Shannon Grant. But once again, the ball out of play about 30 metres away from the Kangaroos' goal. Just over 14 minutes remaining in the final term. And, gee, they would feel somewhat robbed if they lost this, the Kangaroos. They have led at every change. Back in play. Taking it, Adam Simpson. Dispossessed on the tackle. Number of players fighting for it at ground level. Tyson Edwards is in there. So too Tyson Stenglein. But once again, it's umpire Hayden Kennedy to perform his duties in the left forward pocket. Nigel Smart's had the job of looking after Severio Rocker all day. He's done it pretty well. Rocker's kicked 2-2. Unloaded a couple of massive kicks that were just offline. Clark up high again and goes for the safety of the boundary line.
In a situation like this where you've got, like, they're all like ants around a sugar bowl here, it'd be far better for the forwards who aren't involved to run away, open up, because backmen hate it when they've got space and they hate it when they've been isolated.
Every picture tells a story on the Jack Fingleton scoreboard. Hart cleared it. Teague, good tackle by Bode, and it's holding the ball, rewarded for the tackle. Good to see. 13-12-90, 12-9-81. Here's Burton flying and playing on quickly. A little bit of indecision now. Needs to distribute it well. Doesn't. They've got another opportunity. Perhaps a little bit high on Goodwin. Quick give. They keep it alive, Adelaide. King. And he's going to smother it.
Gee, that was great work over there on the boundary line then to really close his space down and then actually wrap him up. It was a tremendous play.
Ball in. Or ball up, I should say, by umpire Mitchell. Clark and Burton. Clark, almost very clever, but Simpson beat him to it. Then goes long, one-on-one Bickley and Harvey. There's been a change there. with some time. Doughty, players loose on the wing, couple to choose from. Stenglein gives to Bickley. Bickley delivers long to the zone where they like to take a mark, but it's just dropped short on him, in spite of standing in the way.
Wasted opportunity by Adelaide. Now Burton goes back with the handball, looking for Archer, measures the kick nicely to find Simpson. Every possession now becoming critical for both sides. Simpson kicks it down the middle of the ground. Digby Morrell. Digby Morrell.
Who cried Wolf? Kim Dillon did.
Bode brings it inside 50, and there's a grab taken by Welsh. Well, the man we talked about at three-quarter time, he has kicked 4 goals and a chance to kick his 5th. Let's go down to Rod Jamieson on the boundary.
Ground still very slick. We've had rain for most of the day. It is finding it difficult for players to keep their feet, but now there's a slight breeze which is favouring the Kangaroos' end. So at the moment, all favouring, difficult for Adelaide.
Welsh lines up. There's the reverse angle. As we mentioned, normally very accurate, and he's kicked his 5th. He's happy with that.
All leadership training. We had an exercise where we had to go and rescue a down pilot. I was leading, so I was given a brief, given some coordinates, etc. and told, go find him and bring him back to the medical team. Within the group, it was a really great feeling. I mean, you really felt like you've done something, and it really did give everyone a buzz. For me personally, I mean, I know when I leave Ad for now, that given any situation, that I'll be able to get out there and take charge and get the job done.
5 goals to Scott Welsh. 3 points the margin. 11 and a half minutes remaining. Stevens still working. He's given that up though. He's searching forward and Bickley running. Momentum shift perhaps. Teague in the right spot. And forward, Adelaide with the numbers. Edwards. Dummies around, kicks it out to the lead and getting back. And Simpson, who's getting some possession in his last quarter. That's a fairly untidy kick by Simpson. Stevens gets a good shepherd from Archer, keeps Welsh out of the contest, now has to hit the body. Well, he did, and Makepeace dropped what he should have marked.
It's just crucial that we've seen that a couple of times today. Mark Stevens missed one early. I mean, they're lay down the Zers, you should take those.
Seen a couple of classic finishes already in round 8. Collingwood over the Lions. Fremantle with Jeff Farmer after the siren. Perhaps again here at Canberra. Bassett. High ball. McCartney, good mark.
10th possession, Jason McCartney. He's been like the Rock of Gibraltar back there, very solid. In Bassett, still racking up the possessions. McCartney goes across the ground, taken by Shannon Grant. Had 2 bounces. The second one didn't come up. He had time to recover. Tried to pinpoint the pass out to Clayton. Good pressure by Burton. And the ball works its way over the boundary line. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Adelaide trailing by 3 points. And fortunately, the rain has disappeared here at Manuka Oval, and the sun is out once again. The ball brought back into play. Bo picked it up. Been a quiet player today. Gave it out towards Goodwin. Just topped, had a good look around, perused his options. Now it goes back towards Bode again. Having a good look. Puts it up towards the hot spot. Looking for Welsh, outnumbered, and Colbert takes the mark quite easily. Well, they didn't have the numbers there then, Russell.
No, they didn't, but it was great shepherding by McCartney then. That was that magnificent piece of play to allow Burton to take Colbert to take the mark.
Colbert back out to Anthony Stevens. Now it's a race for pace. Massey is there, close to the boundary line. Was that a push in the back? Not according to the umpire. Lee Harding applying some good pressure there, and we'll have a throw-in by the interchange gates. And we'll take another look at that. Well, in his side, given the benefit of the doubt, and that's probably fair enough. Matthew Clark to do the ruck work. Burton takes front position. Clark steals it. Clark got the tap down towards Grant. A very good handball out towards Harvey. Onto the right boot. Puts it up high. Burton underneath it. Loose ball taken by Morrell. Morrell with a long kick. That's a good one. Smart gets back there. The ball stays in play and eventually works its way over the line. Or did it? Well, the umpire said it was okay. So Nigel's off and running. He kicks it to himself. The ball sits beautifully. Big Sab's in pursuit. The crowd appreciating that. Then he does a bouncer, and it goes straight back towards Adam Simpson, who throws it on the left boot, and Byron Pickett gets underneath it.
Terrific play from both sides at the moment. Down to 9 minutes. Pickett Driving kick, spotted Clayton, that's a ripper. Wonderful kick from Pickett.
That was an absolute penetrating. But the interesting thing was that Morrell led his man out, which opened the space, and bang, in he goes and took the mark.
And Shane Clayton, who has kicked 5 goals in the last couple of weeks, he's already got 1 today. A pretty good afternoon. Possession number 17 coming up. Had 7 marks. He would dearly love to kick his second goal. Shouldn't present a problem for him. He's a terrific kicker of the football. He's a goal kicker. He's a finisher. He loves to finish on the run, but from the reverse angle, that is what is ahead of him. Not a problem for Clayton. Breathing space for the Roos.
That was...
Come on, where's Mummy's voice? Time to go outside. Come on, get out from under there. Oh, naughty boy. No, don't go in there. Come on, out you go. Good boy.
Just above the railway station at North Terrace.
The margin back out to 9 points as Clayton kicks his second goal. And it'll be Matthew Clark again, opposed to Burton. Anthony Stevens in there. Picked up 27 possessions already. Goodwin's had a bit of the football as well. Burton won the tap. The ball comes down towards Tyson Edwards. I mentioned before he loves to run. Does that and gets around his body back towards Kane Johnson. In turn, in the 1-2, it goes back to Tyson Edwards, measures the kick, and it's a good pass to find Stenglein, who fed it off quickly to Goodwin. Goodwin kicks it in. Welsh is the target. Couldn't take the mark. Bode took it off hands, and he put it through. The margin back to 3 points here at Monica, and we have got a battle royal.
That was absolutely, once again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but they always go for that hot spot. And Bode, he's front and centre there. The contest, no one marked it. Ball brought to the front. Bode just reading the play perfectly. Magnificent kick there by Goodwin.
Beautiful spot. So Matthew Bode, with his 23rd possession, he's taken it inside 55 times. He's been a very good player once again. And Dennis Pagan, not happy with what he saw there. They're still in front by 3 points. Sensational game. Goal for goal in this last quarter. Kangaroos, but yet to get in front. Clark laying it down towards McLeod. Robbins cut in first. Stevens out of the centre again. Need a good bounce to Roos. Harris out in front of Nelson. Not sure about that, but still managed to get it forward. It's an open forward line. Massey, keep your feet. Morrell. Pickett went to ground. And going nowhere. So the pressure will build from here on in. 7.5 minutes remaining.
Interesting play by Massey then. You mentioned keep your feet. He had the support there. Had another 2 Adelaide players there. The Cardinal Sin went to ground. The ball brought back into play. Beautiful tap by Clark. Straight down to Goodwin. Gets onto a big torpedo punt. Puts it up midfield. King got up very high and got the big fist away. The ball comes down to Colbert. Wrapped up in a tackle. Was it high? Was it holding the ball? The umpire says this is too hard. We'll call that a dead heat.
I tell you, it would have been stupid they pinged him for that. Played by King. If you're caught behind, you can't mark it, hit it forward.
Umpire Chris Mitchell with the football. 7 minutes remaining in the final term here at Monica, and it's the Kangaroos leading by 3 points. And as I've mentioned, they have led from the opening bounce.
Words of advice from the skipper Stevens, telling young Daniel Harris there.
Clark gets up high again. Burton won the tap. Ball comes down the ground, and we'll have take 3. And now the clock runs down. 6.5 minutes remaining. Perry giving some instructions there as Glenn Archer moves back down onto Kane Johnson. So Rashuto's still down there. Teague looking after Rashuto now. There's been a few moves. Burton did well with his body. Got the big fist away. Byron Pickett gets the run of it. Paddling it forward was Ben Hart. Stevens in there. Smothered off the boot. Now Bickley. Good vision to put the handle out towards Massey. Got the kick out wide. Looking for Bodes underneath it. He's had 8 possessions this quarter. Ball comes to ground. It's a wrestle. Burton and McLeod. And it's a dead heat.
there's a couple of extremes. There's a big Spider and McLeod too. Spider did an absolutely brilliant job then in containing McLeod, not letting him get first use of the footy.
Clark, over the top, came Burton. He went for the smother, but Robbins got it forward. Morrell with Colbert, smart at ground level. Wants to go for a run. This time he's got Harvey chasing. It wasn't Big Sav. Gets the kick away, though. Bassett with him bared. Free kick Bassett, too high. A little bit ginger as he gets up, but he's got a fair few kicks today. That might be why. 22nd possession to the 50. And an easy mark for Glenn Archer. They've been pretty good across that half-back in this last quarter. They're getting extra numbers back. Spots a player in the middle. Has to be spot on. Teague. Play on. Touch.
It's a bit stiff.
Holding. He looks up, asks the question, and umpire Chris Mitchell says no. The Crow player in there first. And umpire Chris Mitchell. So another ball up. But just inside the centre square. 3 points the margin. Clark trying to have an influence in this last quarter. McLeod wrestled to the ground. Still managed to get it forward. Pickett smothers it. Going through somehow Bode. Pickett, second effort. Brilliant. Burton. He wanted King to run there, so he just handballed it there. King with depth. One-on-one. Grant with Massey. It falls for Grant. Very dangerous. It's got Harvey running for it. He gets inside. He clears himself and kicks a goal.
I'll just look that up for you. Yes, I can help you with that.
Due to the upgraded hardware in our core business units. Now, if everyone would turn to page 7.
For a great lineup of communication services, choose Primus Telecom.
Back out to 9 points after a brilliant goal there by Shannon Grant, and once again it was Massey who went to ground. Nobody could win the tap. Back centre field, going through strongly was Bode. Thumped it back to Doughty, puts it up high. The Kangaroos have the numbers. Teague had front position. McLeod tried to pick it up, didn't get it on the first attempt, got it on the second though, goes towards an unprotected goal, and in fact he's gone across the face of goal, and the ball is out of play in that left forward pocket. As the clock ticks down here at Manuka Oval, we're inside 4 minutes, and the margin back out to 9 points. Well, Adelaide keep posing the question, and the Kangaroos have had the answers thus far. Clark gets it down, trying to look for Stengline. He was waiting for Welsh. Eventually it goes to that player. Good tackle by Makepeace, and he's taken over the boundary line. You just get the feeling they're not going to let this one go, the Kangaroos. They've worked too hard.
We've seen right from the first bounce, they've been very brave, strong and hard. Adelaide have come at them 3 times, and each time they've repelled it, and they've just got to hang on a few more minutes.
The ball thrown in the left forward pocket. Another good tap by Clark. No one there to take it, though, and a dead heat. Umpire blows the whistle, and that is umpire Chris Mitchell. Let's go down to the boundary. Rod Jamieson.
Both camps are real urgent to get their football forward, but at the moment, everyone in the camp and asking their players to come down and flood the Adelaide forward line.
Yeah, no one inside the attacking 50 for the Kangaroos. Harris just moving back there now. Well, they need a quick tap and a snap. Let's see what Clark can set up. He didn't get the tap. I got down to McLeod. Oh, he goes through a number of players. Quick handle. Gave it straight to Stevens. Stevens. Bassett is there. Oh, Archer came through strongly. Oh, there's a bit of carnage in his wake. Bassett is down, and he's not a well boy at the minute as the ball goes out towards the boundary line. Clayton taking plenty of time. Well, he had plenty of time. Got it back to Harvey. He goes underground towards the boundary line. Bassett down behind play. He was met solidly by Archer.
I'll tell you how hard Harvey has worked this afternoon. He was the bloke who kicked it centre-half back out to that wing, and he got across there to get the support to Clayton.
Archer storming through there, running with the flight of the ball, and really did cause that contest. But Adelaide moved forward once again. Inside their 50, Simpson under the pump, gets a good shepherd from Baird, gave him enough time to clear it. Little underground kick towards Harvey. Russell just mentioned his work. Another inside turn from Pickett. He goes the long torpedo. Tough ball to mark into the sun. Colbert was smart. With him, Nelson. Colbert gets ridden into the ground by Burton. Ball up, 2.5 minutes. Crows have got to kick 2 goals.
But Lee Colbert might have been the player he was prior to his knee reconstruction, in the last couple of years in particular. But I tell you, that was absolutely brilliant work there in the way in which he pushed off and worked off against 2 fellas.
Plenty of players around the ball. Clark's been getting on top in the ruck all afternoon as the game has worn on. He's been tapping down at will. Free kick for the Kangaroos.
Colbert, I think.
Colbert. Dennis reaches for the water for a drink. And Lee Colbert, we've seen him, I mean, he is a long kick of the football.
You can kick it a long way.
Yeah, it is late in the game, but Nigel Smart is standing on the mark virtually on the 50-metre number, so he's going to have to kick from about 55.
If they do win this, I mean, every side that's been belted in the press by the coach and by president's, adverse media coverage have really come out and responded to this. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but this is what's happening so far.
Lee Colbert from 53, not going to make it, got right underneath it to the goal square. Down at that ground level, Harris almost got a kick away. And as we probably... the Crows managed to force it through for a rush behind.
There's still time on this. There's a couple of minutes to go, but they've got to be very direct, long, hard kicks because they don't want to lose possession of the footy.
The re-entry all important, and Ben Hart decides to kick long right down the middle. Hart with a clever tap. Oh, Smart went without it. Big opportunity there. Now Tyson Edwards over the top to Kane Johnson in heavy traffic. Did he throw it? Not according to the umpire. Colbert does well to keep the ball in the area, and Adelaide with just a glimmer of hope then, and they couldn't capitalise on those opportunities. Great pressure by the Kangaroos as the clock ticks away. We're down to 1 minute 40. Simon Goodwin in the hands of the trainers as well. So it's been a tough old encounter. Clark wins another tap, but there's no one there for Adelaide. Clayton's been a good player. This man Harvey's been very good since coming off the interchange bench, and there's loose players everywhere, and Lee Harding has the football, likes to run with it. We saw that earlier. He's had 2 bounces, and it's a nice looking kick, is it? Searching for Colbert, who just couldn't make up the ground.
It might not have looked pretty, but it's the Smart kick and the option to get it boundary side. Waste a bit of time with the clock. If he didn't hit the body, he had to put it to the boundary side to
no doubt about that. Adelaide leading some clean possessions. 1 minute 17 left on the clock, and the margin is 10 points. Well, Clark is the master at the tap. He has front position, tried to feed it down towards Edwards. Massey was there. Great pressure being applied. Daniel Harris picks it up, snaps around his body. There's another point, so the margin out to 11 points. And one would think that this will probably be enough for the Kangaroos. And if they do win this game, I tell you what, it's been a hard-fought victory.
Well, Hart has it. 2 straight. Clark the target. 2 straight kicks in a minute. Bode. Stem line. Second effort. Rashudo running down the ground. Edwards. Need a marking target. It's got to hit the body. It doesn't. Teague, who has covered very well all afternoon off his half-back flank. Cuts across well. A timely mark.
He's been very good all afternoon. He's courageous, backs himself. Kick.
Smart kick. And Lee Harding will wipe the clock off.
Reminds me of another bloke, Gary Carlton, who used to play many, many years ago. Teague, a look-alike, same type of build, plays the same type of hard, straight-ahead football.
He's told to kick now, but he's managed to wipe 20 or 30 seconds off the clock. Kicks to a contest. Burton at the back. Clark over the top. Down at ground level, Morrell. Forces it for Robbins. Little give to Grant. Can he put the icing on the cake right at the death? He can! Second goal, the last 2 goals to Shannon Grant. And a definitive way for this game to finish with Shannon Grant, one of the players who were questioned. Lovely little give from Ben Robbins on the up. Morrell forcing it forward. Robbins gets the call. Grant knows how to finish off. And this celebration says it all. We've won.
Look, it's an amazing thing, football. I mean, 1 week you feel absolutely low and you don't want to play footy again. Then you come back out, you redeem yourself. And you can just see by that reaction. And all those 4 boys who started on the bench have been super this afternoon.
And the opposite reaction from the opposite coach in Gary Ayres when that went through.
Well, he knew there was a big opportunity to get the 4 points today, but Dennis Pagan, we mentioned, as the siren sounds, and the Kangaroos have got over the line. It's been a very committed effort to win by 17 points. And you mentioned, Matthew, at the start of the game, that Dennis Pagan seemed a man pretty happy with his preparation and pretty comfortable with himself.
They let them go out and play. They did what they know they can do. They were hard at the footy. They were committed, as you just mentioned, Russell. And they did play like the Kangaroos that we know that can play, especially some of their more senior players.
You hit it on the head. I mean, they looked as though they enjoyed themselves out there this afternoon. They're on the bench, and I tell you what, they were brave right from the start and right to the end. The unfortunate thing for the Crows is that there was a huge opportunity to go to equal top of the ladder. And the Roos winning this afternoon pushes them up closer to that, so they had to win, the Roos.
One of those players who was very good for the Kangaroos with 4 goals is Brent Harvey. He's with Rod Jamison.
Brent, well done. It's been a tough week for you, and not only yourself, but the whole team.
Yeah, it has. We had to do a match practice during the week, get our hardness back, and the guys listed today, Shannon Grant was terrific, Byron Pickett, David King, so it's good to see him back today.
I guess the way you went about training the whole week was quite physical. I mean, it was right from the outset, to just for the whole game, just really persevered. Players running off, wanting to shepherd, and particularly, I guess, the 4 players and yourself and a couple of others, that players really rallied and got around.
Yeah, it's good to see, all the guys get support from the teammates. That's what it's all about. You play for your mates, and it's good to see them come through today.
Manuka Oval, enjoy playing here?
Yeah, it's good. I think we've only lost 1 game here, so might try to get a few more games up there, eh?
Okay, Brent, well done.
Thanks.
Weeknights is a whole new look to early evenings on 9.
I have waited.
Join the gorgeous Holly Brisley for the greatest cartoons ever with all your favorite characters. The Looney Tunes Show, 5 o'clock weeknights. Then at 5:30, head back in time to the happy days of the 50s. The Fonz, Richie and the gang in brand new prints, so go back to the fun. Of TV's all-time favorites, Looney Tunes at 5 o'clock, then Happy Days, 5:30, weeknights on 9.
You say the sky's in love with you.
The limited edition Statesman International. Only the best.
Who looks at you the way I do?
Superstars, the world's largest tribute to the stars, is coming. A spectacular show featuring over 20 superstars. Dance the night away or sit and watch the show. Don't miss Superstars. It's electrifying. Appearing for this year's Christmas season at the Park Convention Center Football Park. For bookings, phone Mario Mayola Promotions.
What sort of partner are you looking for? All the best partners are at Health Partners. Because when you're a Health Partners member, you have access to carefully selected healthcare professionals where the cost is guaranteed. Health Partners. More than just a health fund.
Kerry's incredible value offer. Get more now at Kerry O'Brien Fitness Centre at Payneham. What an offer! You get more than just membership for 12 months. You get the next 12 months free. And there's more, with an easy payment plan as low as $16 a fortnight. And your membership includes cardio lounge, group cycling, 3 gyms, pool, sauna, spas, aerobics, aqua aerobics, personal gym programs, circuits, Thai boxing and childminding. So hurry, get more now.
Invest $8 at the Money Expo before you... You'll get the best advice for your money from over 70 of Australia's most highly regarded funds, covering every aspect of investment. Shares, property, franchising, security, super. In fact, the best kind of investment for you. So before you invest $1 anywhere, spend a little time at the Money Expo. Money Expo 2002, Adelaide Convention Centre. $8 gets you in to all the advice you'll ever need. You owe it to yourself not to miss it.
Monday, what if Daphne lost her job?
I would know of a position you could take. Services that you could perform. I would know of an opening.
Praise you, 7 o'clock Monday on 9. Monday.
I'm going to be behind the wheel.
Big mistake.
It's only a matter of time before the police decide to end it, one way or the other.
Give them a reason.
All new Malcolm, 8 o'clock Monday on 9.
Kangaroos, margin, 17-point victors. They led at every change. Welshan got 5 and Rashuda 4, Rocker 2, Clayton 2 and Grant 2. Final score 16-14, 110. The Adelaide Crows 14-9, 93. And as the Kangaroos warm down, we'll take another break and return with more from Manuka Oval.
It's something a cop should never do. Fall for an informant.
At least we're both in the same industry.
But one case
He's going to kill him.
will put their secret affair to the test.
He's my
We
informant.
paid for it, and he goes behind our back. Unbelievable.
Because the man she loves
He lied to me.
could be working for both sides of the law.
We got something on the backpack wire. That's still a cream. Doesn't get much lower than that.
And just when things couldn't get more complicated,
Will you marry me?
they do. Stingers, Tuesday on 9.
Hear ye, hear ye. Come to Dirty Dick's Theatre Restaurant. Come and enjoy an unforgettable night of old English fun and feasting. Enjoy a brilliant all-new stage show with King Henry VIII, together with a huge medieval banquet and after-show dancing, all at a super value price. Dirty Dick's Theatre Restaurant. Book now for the best night out for any occasion. More food than you can eat, more fun than you can handle.
Buy right now at Early Settler and save 3 ways. Save by buying direct from the importer, save by buying our exclusive models, save by buying right now from our excess stocks. Right now is the time to buy and save at Early Settler. But be quick, stocks are limited.
At East, we assess each home we insure individually, so you won't pay more than you should.
Last year in Australia, this many women, just like you and me, died from cervical cancer. Most, however, had a perfectly good excuse.
Look, I don't have time for a pap smear right now. I don't have any symptoms. I know I should, girl. Oh, I'm too old. I've only ever had the one partner.
Some women find the idea of a pap smear embarrassing and uncomfortable, but one pap smear every 2 years will help pick up any early changes.
All over. So we'll see you again in 2 years.
Up to 90% preventable. So all women aged over 18 who have ever had sex should have a pap smear every 2 years. Because if one thing could be worse than dying of cervical cancer,
I'm too busy to go to the doctor.
it's knowing how easily it could have been prevented. Cervical cancer. Uses. Make an appointment.
Every day we feed the hand up to those imprisoned by their circumstances. We visit the sick and lonely wherever they may be. And every night this winter, the St Vincent de Paul Society will be home to 4,000 Australians. Please call 13 18 12 now, because with your generous donation, we can continue to make a difference. St Vincent de Paul, please call 13 18 12.
Sunday night at the movies. The cop who won't quit is back.
If you can't find him dead someplace, he's running, folks. We got a fugitive.
But this time, he's chasing more than just a fugitive.
U.S. Marine Special Forces, CIA, Black Ops. What do you intend to do?
Gotcha.
Academy Award winner Tommy Lee Jones, Wesley Snipes, Robert Downey Jr. The all-action blockbuster U.S. Marshals, 8:30 tonight on 9.
Kangaroos warming down. There's been a couple of other games being played around the country. We're going to show you the scores right now. If you don't want to know the scores, look away now. Russell, we're out of time. A great win by the Kangaroos, 17 points. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner, Carlton and United Breweries. And telecast sponsors, Holden, Duracell, Amy, Cadbury Dairy Milk, Primus Telecom, delivering the real value of communication, and the Navy, Army and Air Force.
Next on 9 Sunday football, the Premiership roller coaster ride hits full speed when the Bombers take on the Saints from Colonial.
My job is to protect the public.
Inside, maximum security.
We have to manage the toughest criminals that Australia's ever seen.
We take you where no camera has ever been.
They're very difficult to manage, and we'll deal with them accordingly.
This jail is not the Hilton.
Plus, meet the teenage quiz champ looking after his mother.
All I wanted to do was just get down there and throw my arms around him.
The self-confessed nerd who had the last laugh.
You can do exactly the same thing.
Nissan presents a Current Affair Monday.
6:30 tonight, Backyard Blitz and Location, followed by 60 Minutes. Then at 8:30, Tommy Lee Jones and Wesley Snipes star in U.S. Marshals.
AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner, Carlton and United Breweries. And our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft, the official beer of the AFL. Duracell. Amy. Primus Telecom, delivering the real value of communication. And the Navy, Army and Air Force.
The big percentage off sale, now on at Woolworths.
Bring food to life.
Welcome back. The Kangaroos have bounced back from a tough week to outlast Adelaide by 17 points at Manuka Oval. And the loss was further soured by a knee injury to forward Ryan Fitzgerald, which club officials fear the worst. The Crows had the chance to go equal top of the AFL ladder, but it was the Kangaroos who opened full of running after Dennis Pagan's midweek spray.
Anthony Stevens, and he bounced one through. Well, that is a quick...
Mark Rasciuto celebrated 200 games by flattening Lee Colbert, then turned his hand to scoring goals.
And I think he's kept it. He has.
It may have been only 7 degrees, but Scotty Welsh was on fire for Adelaide, his third grabbing the lead early in the second quarter.
Everybody will kick this for sure. It doesn't miss.
But then things started to go wrong for the Crows, starting with Ryan Fitzgerald's knee injury.
Not good for Fitzgerald or the Adelaide Crows, and he is down.
The Roos regained the lead, and Daniel Harris needed to regain his senses after Mark Bickley left him dazed and confused. His teammates knew where they were, though, and led by 21 points at half-time. The rain came as Welsh continued to provide goals up forward for Adelaide, and when Matthew Clark turned rover early in the last quarter, the Crows were back to within 3 points.
Great start for the Crows.
Adelaide kept the pressure on, but couldn't grab the lead. The Kangaroos had the answer for every challenge, with Shannon Grant nailing 2 late goals to cap the 17-point win. At Colonial, it's been another long day for St Kilda. The Bombers led by 109 points at three-quarter time, but eased up to win by 99. Scott Lucas the best of 13 different goal kickers.
St Kilda lost Hamill and Black before the opening bounce. Essendon jumping out of the blocks through Jason Johnson. Paul Salmon continuing his dream return to the AFL, helping the Bombers to a 9-point quarter-time lead. But Sheedy wasn't happy with what he saw, and the Bombers responded with 3 quick goals at the start of the second. They weren't about to ease up either, and by the 17-minute mark, they'd kicked 7 for the quarter.
Unselfishly, 7. The All-Stagers kicked his second.
Essendon continuing the second-term rot with ridiculous ease.
Harvey kicks the goal.
They ended up with 10 goals for the term, the Saints trailing by 65 points at the main change. The Avalanche continued after the break, pouring on goals early in the third term. Caracella kicking 3 of the Bombers' 8 for the quarter. Essendon with 21 goals to three-quarter time, 109-point change. St Kilda outscoring Essendon in the final term, but it was all too little too late as the Bombers held on to a percentage boosting 99-point victory. The Saints only firing 1 shot for the day.
Clearly, you know, Graham McMahon and I have had a disagreement. I've got absolutely no public comment to make on that disagreement. I'm certain I'll be catching up with Graham tomorrow, and we'll go through it. It's between Graham and I, no one else.
Chris Jones, 7 News.
And the pressure on Sydney coach Rodney Eade will increase this week after the Swans' capitulation to the Western Bulldogs in Sydney.
The Bulldogs had won their last 4 games against the Swans and had come to play again. Brown, Johnson and Darcy were part of a winning midfield. Their little men were hitting the target.
Under pressure.
Adam back to kick 3 goals in the second quarter for Sydney, but the Dogs held sway by 15 points at half-time. And they blew the game apart in the third quarter. Brown finished with 5 goals and Bandy 4 as the Bullies sailed home by 69 points.
With the left foot, they've got another one.
Last night in Perth, Fremantle kept its unbeaten home record intact when Jeff Farmer goaled after the siren to help the Dockers beat his old club by 5 points. David Neitz conceded the free kick with seconds left in the match, Farmer calmly converting the chance.
To win the game! He stuck it in! He celebrates!
And Collingwood underlined its standing as a premiership challenger, outlasting Brisbane by 3 points at Colonial. The Lions had the ball in the dying seconds, but couldn't hit a target.
He's got 2 men on in the middle. One of them's Headland. Here we go. This is the last roll of the dice. Headland's kicks a wobbler. There's the siren and Collingwood won.
Dion Heyman, 7 News.
To the ladder, and Brisbane and Collingwood share top billing. Port's third and takes on the Magpies on Friday night at Football Park. The Crows slip to 5th behind Essendon. Fremantle heads the bottom 8 along with the Kangaroos and Richmond. Sydney and Saints have slipped to second bottom. One game in the local league today, and it was the Eagles who won a low-scoring contest at Noongar by 37 points. The round's completed tomorrow when West takes on Port at Richmond. Kostiazou is still the undisputed super lightweight champion of the world after dominating Ghana's Ben Taki in Las Vegas. He won by a unanimous points decision.
Not quite the crowd circus.
It's showtime!
In fact, Aussie fans had no trouble getting tickets, but it was money well spent. Kostya went into this bout hot favourite and with a purpose. He wanted to prove he was more than a brawler.
Fredo is just out boxing this guy. He's giving him a boxing lesson.
Taki sold advertising on his back. He probably went too cheaply. Wall Street got a full 12 rounds of exposure. Taki got 12 rounds of pounding.
What a strategic fight he's fighting. He just beat this guy up.
Taki did land the occasional telling blow, and Kostya required his usual post-round facial. But at the end of 12 rounds, 2 of the 3 judges had awarded every round to the Australian champ.
Today I've done exhibition, for boxing exhibition, to show the world that I've got not only power, I've got skills.
Kostya's not thinking of his next bout. He's about to become a father again. One thing's for sure, though, Taki won't get another shot.
Meet again. I don't think so.
Pat Welsh, 7 News.
Mark Scape has won his 4th straight round of the V8 Supercar Series in Darwin. There was plenty of drama in the opening race of the day.
Oh, Mark Larkin's caught up in that smash. John Faulkner's in there. Oh, that's messy down the back.
Rick Kelly crashed into fellow Holden driver Jason Bargwana, causing a 6-car pile-up. No one was seriously injured, but it took half an hour to clean up the carnage. Scape won both today's races and is right on target for a record equaling 5th V8 championship. And finally, congratulations to our amateur footballers over in Perth. They beat WA by 32 points, so well done to them.
Fantastic.
So that's your sport tomorrow, Adelaide Cup Day.
Yep.
If you can't get down to Morphettville, right here on 7, we've got the race at 3 o'clock live. But it should be a good day at the track too.
Be a bit heavy, wouldn't it? I don't know much about horse racing, but I know more than you probably. But it's going to be heavy, isn't it?
It's going to be a good day.
So back a good one in the wet.
Oh. One with flippers.
There's a tip for you. The rain's easing for the holiday Monday. Well, that's good news. Shirley with the details next. And nice weather for the Million Forest Walk, if you were a duck, that is.
Got enough points to get here, but you want to go here? Pay the difference in cash or credit and go. With the National Gold Rewards program, you can fly anytime with any airline. Call 13 13 12 about a National Gold card today.
Mum and Dad are going to be there, so make sure you wear something decent for a change.
Wear something, wear something, wear something, wear something.
Wear something decent. Peter Shearer Menswear, Rundle Mall.
Cunningham's are now cheaper. Large rolling organiser, now $9.99. Cheaper. Deluxe fold-up chairs, now $14.99. Cheaper. Pack of 20 two-ply toilet tissues, $3.99 a pack. Cheaper, pack of 24 AA batteries, now $1.50 a pack, or 48 AA batteries for $2.99 a pack. A4 4-drawer storage cabinet, $11.99. Pack of 6 Australian-made Imperial leather soap, $2.99 a pack. Fashion reading glasses, $2.99.
Up and Go is a real breakfast with a real difference. It delivers the goodness of 2 Wheat Bix and milk in a delicious creamy smoothie you can enjoy anywhere. Real breakfast, real fast, for when you have to up and go.
You want to use your frequent flyer points here, but the next available flight is here. Headed up to here? With the National Gold Rewards program, you can fly anytime with any airline. Call 13 13 12 about a National Gold card today.
Now I'm no bean counter, but this A&R end of financial year deal accounts for all your needs. This Pentium 4 with CD burner, internet, scanner, printer and software, plus this great computer desk and a free chair, all for $25.99 or $20.38 a week. Or flexi rent and get this bonus digital camera. Been to A&R? Noarlunga, Grove Street, Port Adelaide and Melrose Park. Yum.
Playing power games.
The ranking order in this house is all wrong.
How do you reassert your position in the pecking order? Harry's practice is next.
Good evening, everyone. We had yet another wild, wet and woolly day. Winter is certainly approaching with a vengeance, with more rain on the way tonight. Today, our temperature is 14.2 just before 1 this afternoon, and a low was 8.1 at 5. It's a chilly 10 degrees in the city. On our satellite image tonight, we can see that most of that frontal cloud is in the eastern parts of our state, but there is still another patch down here of cloud just south of us, which will produce more heavy falls and possible hail over our state tonight. Taking a look at the charts, the main feature is this complex low pressure system here, which is now moving out into the Tasman Sea. Today it kept dragging cold air up and around it, which is why we had more hail and heavy falls. The low is very slow moving, so it will continue to direct a very cold south to southwesterly airstream over our state for the next few days. Then that high pressure system will start to dominate, bringing fine conditions by next weekend. Interstate tomorrow, mainly fine in most capitals, but it will be wet and cold in Canberra, showers and windy for Melbourne, and a shower or two expected down in Hobart. Well, back in our state, we had heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms over the agricultural districts and southern interiors today, as well as some small hail around the back of the ranges. The highest rainfall recorded to 3 p.m. was 11 millimetres at Victor Harbour. Temperatures range from just 9 degrees at Mount Crawford up to a mild 21 at Oodnadatta. Well, tonight we'll get more showers and possible hail over the central and eastern districts, but they will contract to the northeast and clear tonight. So tomorrow we can expect a much better day. However, it will stay cool to cold with scattered showers and fresh to strong southwesterly winds moderating during the day. A strong wind warning is still current for South Australian coastal waters, and on our local waters, southwesterly winds of 15 to 20 knots with seas up to 2 metres. In the city, a cool to cold day with showers easing. Our top will still reach 16 degrees after an overnight low of 9. And looking ahead, it looks like we're stuck on 16 degrees with a few showers until at least Thursday, and then up to 17, big deal, on Friday and Saturday with a mainly fine weekend forecast. Well, that's it from me. I hope you can join me on AM Adelaide at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning for our live 2-hour Adelaide Cup special. Until then, good night.
Thanks, Shirley. Hope it's special. Tomorrow's holiday for the Adelaide Cup means a day off for most people, but not for those who'll be operating speed cameras. Bad luck. They'll be concentrating their efforts down south tomorrow, ranging from Door Park all the way down to Noarlunga. Watch out for at least 3 more cameras at Ranilla. Back closer to town, Fullerton, Unley and Crossroads are being targeted. Also Grange Road at Westbourne Park. There's been no advice of locations east or west of the city. And finally, there were plenty of soggy doggies with their even wetter human companions on the march today. They all braved the elements for the RSPCA's annual Million Paws Walk. Some came prepared with special canine coats, but for others, the frizzy look was the order of the day. There were about 2,000 entrants today, about half those expected. But the good news, the RSPCA raised around $30,000. A real dog day afternoon. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.